Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome on in. Hello to YayoKB3. Hope you're doing great. Tangible Studio, good to see you in chat as well. I'm Ian Douglas. I'm the author of this website, Tech Interview Guide. I love helping people out with interview prep and career advancement kind of advice. Yeah, thought I'd have kind of I don't know what we call it. Not low energy, but just kind of a chill sort of stream. We actually have no guest for the first time in a while. So it's going to be just me. I thought I'd go through some of our anonymous questions over on the Discord channel. And if you've got questions along the way, absolutely, please drop those in chat as we go. If you want to go hang out on Discord, here's a link to Discord over here. You're welcome to join over there. It's just a great community of folks who want to help each other out with job hunting and career prep and company research and all kind of stuff. So what's up, Zooey? Good to see you in chat, bud. We had Zooey on as a guest recently as well. It was cool to actually get to chat with Zooey in person again. So yeah, you can go check all that stuff out on YouTube. I'll drop the link to YouTube here. So all of my previous streams I try to put up on YouTube, and yeah, we interviewed Zooey about kind of what got him into tech and his journey into a boot camp, and how he got a job after boot camp, and how he's now turned all that back around, and he's now mentoring at his school and helping others with getting interviews and getting jobs and stuff. Oh sure, yeah. My oldest asked if we could 3D print one of these little container boxes. It's called a Lotus box, Venus box. And so yeah, it's... Oh, I guess I figured out how it comes apart. Not supposed to come apart. I'll let you fix it. Anyway, this is this cool little 3D thing. It prints all in pieces, and you assemble all the pieces, and it turns into this thing where you like turn the bottom of it, and it kind of opens up inside the box. So you put something in, and it closes up over it. It's pretty cool. So he asked if we could print that in a couple of colors, and so yeah. Speaking of 3D printed stuff, bang giveaway, exclamation point giveaway. I don't have, yeah, it's down underneath the chat over here. Do exclamation point giveaway. Every day that I stream in the month of October, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. It's a giveaway of like a 3D printed kit card for something like you want to make a little catapult or something like that, or we've got various themed things. So we've got Star Wars and Star Trek and holiday things or toys, and these came in the mail yesterday. So these are the shipping envelopes that they're going to come in. They're just a flat cardboard envelope, and so the whatever thing that you choose, if you were chosen as the giveaway recipient, basically this is just going to like pop right in the envelope to mail that off to you. So go ahead and hit exclamation point giveaway, get in the giveaway. And here's the other one that we made in kind of a light gray color. So this one's also coming apart. I guess we can't glue that on there, otherwise you wouldn't be able to turn the cam. Yep. So yeah, so we got a whole bunch of 3D printers here. I've got something really big printing on one of the printers right now, and it's multicolor, and it's going to be part of the giveaway at the end of the month. But the giveaway recipients at the end of the month are going to get to choose one of a couple of prizes. And so every time I stream, you can do exclamation point giveaway, and that's going to give you an entry into the daily giveaway, but that also gives you an additional entry into the monthly giveaway. And so the other thing that I was thinking of doing on the stream is I'll show you kind of how I'm going to make a command, like a chat command for the chat bot, where you can do something like exclamation point entries, where it'll show you how many entries you have in the giveaway. So yeah, thanks for doing that. Hey X, good to see you. Midnight Simon hanging out in chat. Everybody, go give Midnight Simon a follow if you're interested in grinding a leak code and want to talk to somebody who went through the leak code grind and got a job at Google. Go give Midnight Simon a follow. You think my stream today is pretty chill? Midnight Simon's is pretty chill all the time. Just a really fantastic guy. Just loves interacting with chat, loves interacting with folks, and just helping them out and helping them understand things, and does co-working streams, stuff like that. He does like to chill. I forget the restaurant that you like, but everybody loves making fun of you for like going to the same restaurant. But yeah, go hang out with Midnight Simon. Really great stream. Tucker Tech, good to see you in chat as well. Hello. Hope everybody's having a really great weekend. My weekend's been good. It's been busy. Got lots of 3D printing going on. Got the 3D printers going on those kit cards. So when we do the giveaway, so Simon, you're welcome to do this too. Exclamation point giveaway. Got a daily giveaway going on. And every entry in the daily giveaways that you come by, so if you keep coming by, you get more and more entries into the month-end stream that we're going to do. Now, I'm going to be doing this the whole month of October. My primary goal here is this fundraiser. So I'm raising money for diversity in tech. And back in June, we gave away $5,000. Actually, it was about $5,100 because my employer actually added a little bit extra. So they were only supposed to donate $1,500 and they donated like $1,600 and change. I'm not sure why they added a little extra, but yeah, my employer goes above and beyond, and I love them for that. And so that organization got a little over $5,000, and it was a group in San Francisco called Hack the Hood. And so I've got all those details. If you do exclamation point money, you'll see a link there, and it'll take you to what I call my financial transparency page on the website. And I basically break down, here's all the money I make as a streamer, and it's all going into this pot of money. And then I'm matching all of that money, and we're going to give that money away at the end of the year. And so I've narrowed it down to 2 organizations. I'm waiting to hear back from one of them, and then we'll make an announcement on the stream about who that money is going to. And then in January, we're going to reset, and we're going to just keep doing it. So it's something that I want to keep doing on a regular basis. I think it's good to raise awareness about diversity in tech, and just make the tech industry a better place by having a lot more people, different backgrounds and different walks of life and different perspectives. Because I'll tell you the same thing when I give career advice and interview advice. Don't ever just listen to me. You got to listen to lots of opinions, lots of advice, in order to form the best opinion for you. So if I do a resume review for you, that's just how I would like to see a resume. Simon would give you different advice. Zooey would give you different advice. Like all my VIPs, they're all going to give you slightly different advice, and that's okay. The choice then is yours of how you want to make your resume, how you want your resume to look. And that's going to be entirely up to you. But you can kind of take bits and pieces of everybody's advice and say, okay, now that I've heard all of these things, this is how I'm going to make my resume, and you go do the thing. And so I believe really strongly in just having lots of opinions and lots of perspectives. So while I like to give my ideas and perspectives here on the stream, by no means am I saying like I'm the only person that you should listen to. There are a lot of people out there that you can get mentorship from. But if you want to reach out to me, I'm on the socials, same username, IanDouglas736. So you can go connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter if you like. I'll put all these links in the YouTube description down below when I post this up on YouTube later on. But hope everybody's doing well. Had a bunch of new follows come in since the last stream. So normally I stream Sunday mornings and Thursday night in America time. And I'm throwing in a couple of extra streams here and there for the month of October, specifically to do the giveaways. And so those extra streams, I might be doing something like assembling Lego. I did some Lego the other day. Started building a life-size replica of the Dark Saber from the Mandalorian series that I won as a giveaway. And so I've been assembling that, and then I've also been assembling a 3D printer. So if you go check out my Twitter feed, you'll see I posted a picture of how far I got last night, aka this morning. The sun was coming up as I was going to sleep. I couldn't sleep last night, so I stayed up and was working on the printer. Basically, I'm building an enormous 3D printer, so I can get into printing like cosplay armor and stuff like that. I think it'll be fun. Yeah, aside from that, doing some gaming. I got into Stream Raiders on a couple of other streams and stuff like that. Yeah, C-Films, good to see you as well. So yeah, C-Films and I connected on LinkedIn and on Twitter. And C-Films, I sent you a message back. I think I'm free Tuesday afternoon if you want to do that chat. So let me know. So yeah, like I love making connections and helping people out. If you ever want to know like how to use your LinkedIn network, or like why I go through the process of building out my LinkedIn network, is for this reason over here. So go check out this link in chat, and it's basically how do you use somebody else's LinkedIn to your benefit. And the benefit there is basically, does Ian know anybody at this company? And if so, who does he know? And so what you can do is you can click through somebody else's connections. So you go to my profile, for example. So you and I have to be connected. So you go to my profile, and then you click where it says 500 plus connections. And then from there, you can do a company search. And you can say, I want to go find a job at Reddit. Does Ian know anybody at Reddit? And if it comes up with a secondary connection, that's a second-degree connection to you. That means you know me, and I know somebody at Reddit. And then what you can do is you can go through and you can look at their profile and whatever. And then you can send me a link on LinkedIn and say, hey, Ian, can you introduce me to so-and-so at Reddit? And I'll make an introduction for you. I will make as many introductions as you want. And it's funny because I put that in, like, that invitation out there all the time, and I actually get very few people asking for it. If you're finishing up a boot camp or you're going through 100 devs, building up that network is really essential. I say on the stream all the time, and we heard it recently when we had Esteban on the stream, when we had Zooey on the stream, we've had other people on the stream recently who have all said very similar kinds of things, that networking is going to get you a job way faster than just sending resumes out. Having a good network that you build and nurture and take care of, and by nurture, I mean like you're having like regular conversation, just everyday conversation with these people. How's your day going? What are you working on? This is what I'm building these days. And just staying really engaged with people all the time. Building up that network is going to find you like freelance work a lot faster for 100 devs. It's going to find you like job opportunities a lot faster. It's going to get you into interviews much faster. So take care of your network, build up a network and take care of it. Whether it's on Twitter, on LinkedIn, doesn't matter, but you can get those introductions and then find out like, hey, do you also have a username on this platform that I hang out with the most? Or are you on Discord? Can I send you messages on Discord? Like wherever you want to stay in touch with people, that like it doesn't have to be on LinkedIn, but wherever you're building up your network, you want to build that up. You want to take care of that network. You want to do the best job you can to stay engaged with those folks, and then figure out like, how can I get introduced to even more people? And so I would say at every opportunity when you get to know somebody on these professional networks, to build out your network, the one question you want to ask them is like, hey, is there anybody else that you can introduce me to that you think I should talk to? Whether it's a company that's hiring or just another colleague of yours that you think would be interested in kind of hearing about my background or what I do or the things I'm involved in. Is there anybody else that you can connect me with? Yayo says I'm invaluable. I appreciate that. And EKA FYI, appreciate that as well. Good to see you in chat. Tucker Tech says, I love this GitHub. I'm part of 100 devs and I'm in the process of using it. That's great. 100 devs is a really good program. I love the folks over at 100 devs. They all do such an amazing job with their live streams and just how they're willing to help out. Like so many of them have gone through the program now and have turned back around and are live streaming what they've learned and kind of their journey and helping other people out. And I'm seeing lots of people hanging out in their streams and stuff like that. And it's fantastic. Love it. I love to see it. My whole catchphrase for this stream is share what you know and we all win. And that's a really big thing for me as a senior level dev who's been in the industry for a long time. I got to a point where I was sort of asked to, the expectation really wasn't so much like a literal ask, but the expectation is as you kind of grow and you work with other people on the team that you're going to work together and make everybody else around you, better and sort of build them up to where you are. And so I did a lot of that as a senior level dev. And then I went into management and I started helping people with the idea of like career management and things like that as part of being a manager. That's part of my job, is to figure out like where you want to learn and grow and so on. And then from there, figuring out, like I really like this mentorship thing. I got back into coding a little bit. And then I thought, no, you know what I want to do? I want to do that mentorship on a regular basis. And so I started mentoring for a local code school here in Colorado, and they turned around, they asked me like, hey, do you just want to be an instructor over here? I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. So I did software development teaching for 4 years. And then from there, I went back into what we call developer advocacy. So I work for a company called Postman, and we do a lot of like API management, like platform tools and stuff like that. But I'm a developer advocate there. I love like getting into the technology and teaching people about that. And so what I love doing is love going and like learning something and then like looking at every possible angle of that and then turning around and teaching it to somebody else. That's really, really what I love doing. And so part of running this stream is kind of the same theme. Like, what have I learned along the way? Like, I just did my own job hunt like a year ago. I started a job hunt, went, through November, did some interviews last year. December didn't really work out. So I took a break and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to kind of take it easy for the holidays. And of course, as soon as I said, I'm going to take it easy, like a bunch of recruiters started calling saying like, hey, are you available for interviews? And I'm like, well, it's the holidays. And they're like, no, we really want to talk to you. And so I started interviewing between Christmas and New Year's. And then in January, I went full time in interview mode. And I ended up with 6 offers. So I interviewed with a ton of companies. I think I interviewed with about 30 companies, and I had 6 offers at the end of it. 5 of them were written offers for full time, and 1 was a standing offer for some consulting work. So taking care of that network and building up that network and who you know and who knows who and things like that, absolutely going to help. Let's look at chat. So Yayo says, so it's true that the more senior you are, the more team, group, interpersonal focused it gets. To some degree, yeah. I think the expectation is that like if you start a job as an entry-level dev, who are you going to ask questions of? Who are you going to ask for help? Who are you going to ask to share their knowledge? You're going to ask the more senior level devs. You're going to ask the people that have been there a while. And so kind of that expectation is that they are going to have part of their time dedicated to helping you and helping you learn and grow. And I think that that's a reasonable expectation as a manager to say, hey team, like we got this new person coming in on the team and we're all going to be involved in supporting them and like making sure that they succeed. Because if I hire you and just kind of, metaphorically throw you in the deep end of the pool and just say like, hey, here's a bunch of work, just go get your work done, good luck. And I don't give you training and I don't give you support and I don't tell you who to talk to, I'm kind of setting you up for failure, and that's not fair to you. And it looks bad on us as a company. And so we want to try to, make sure that we have enough support to bring an entry-level dev on the team. I've actually closed job postings in the past. I stepped into a director role at a company, and they had an open role for an entry-level dev. And I had a senior level dev leave on my team, and so I shut down the junior dev role. And my boss was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "We don't have enough support on the team to bring somebody new on the team. And it's not fair to them to bring them in and watch them fail. It's just not worth it." So, Expert T33, appreciate the follow. Thanks for that. Robo, also good to see you in chat too. Yayo says, I've been thinking of emailing dev companies in my area and just asking them about their dev staff and where they started. Any tips they have for a junior? Is that a good way to network? It is. I would say probably one of the best ways to network is meetups. They're called meetups, not show-ups. So go meet people. That's the best place to meet people, honestly, because you already know that you've got some common ground around a technology. I know it's funny, but it's true. They're called meetups, not show-ups. So go meet people. Like that was the intent of meetup.com, is like, let's get together around some common theme and let's network. So go to a meetup. If you're an entry-level dev, here's my suggestion. And this is going to be scary, but here's my suggestion. Especially for those of you in 100 devs, I think that this would be really fantastic for all of you. So check this out. If you put together a 5-minute talk about, here's my experience with 100 devs. Here's what I'm learning. And I'm looking for freelance work / full-time job. 5-minute talk. And just talk about, this is what 100 devs is. This is what we do. This is the stuff that I'm learning. Here's my experience with it so far. Here's a little project I made. By the way, I'm looking for full-time work. Thanks for having me. And go sit back down. 5-minute talk. That's all you need. Nobody's going to argue with you about like, oh, you did this wrong or you did that wrong. You're just getting up and introducing yourself and putting yourself out there saying, I'm looking for work. Whether you're looking for the 100 hours project idea, or if you're finishing with 100 devs and you're looking for that job, just get up and introduce yourself. Say, this is my experience with XYZ. That's it. 5-minute talk. That's all you need to do. And it's amazing how many people you're gonna have come up after you afterward, introduce themselves to you, and that's when you really network and say, hey, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? Or if you make like a, just print out like a single sheet and like cut it into pieces or something, just put your LinkedIn profile or your GitHub or your Twitter, like however you want to stay in touch with people, or like your Discord username, like however you want to stay in touch with people. Hand that out afterwards. It's amazing how much you're going to grow in that opportunity. So it's linked to the 5-minute elevator pitch, kind of, but the elevator pitch is you and who you are and what you're doing as a dev and the fact that you're looking for a job. Put it out there. So you're not necessarily presenting like, here is how to do XYZ in React. That's later. Like, do that later. As an entry-level dev, when you do that, you're going to have like 10 people come up afterwards telling you why you're wrong. Or why you did things in the wrong order, or you should have done it this way, or whatever. Like, they may not, it may not come out as negative as like, oh, that's garbage and what horrible take or anything like that. Like, they're not going to be that blatant about it, but they are going to come up with a lot of suggestions about like, hey, do this. Hey, you should have talked about this or that. But if you just get up and say, this is my experience with 100 devs, this is what I've been learning about React, and just talk about like 1 or 2 things that you've really enjoyed about 100 devs. Not from like, oh, I really like Leon and I really like his style of teaching, but just, here's what I've learned about React Router that I find really interesting and really cool. And this is how I've applied it in this project. Just 5-minute talk. That's really all it is. This is me. This is my journey into tech. Here's something cool that I'm learning. I'm looking for a job. Go sit back down. That's it. 5 minutes. If you want to do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if you want to go on a little bit longer, you totally can. You know what? Meetup organizers love having people get up and just volunteer. Like, hey, can I do like a 5-10 minute talk just on my experience? I'm new in development, but I had this idea to give this talk. Would it be cool if I like come to the next meetup and do a talk? Every single organizer is going to be like, heck yeah, like kick us off for the night. Like, do that, set the vibe. Like, everyone's going to love that. It's the best way to introduce yourself. That's the best way to network, because you're actually meeting people. The second best place is, if you can afford to, go to a tech conference of some kind, or see if a tech conference in your area will sponsor for like entry-level devs or brand new devs that, like you don't have a full-time job, in the industry, and you're looking for sponsorship or something like that to get a ticket to go to the tech conference, and then network the heck out of everybody you meet. Give them your LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, however you want to stay in touch, and just network the heck out of that conference. Like, go to every single table, every single booth, hand out your name, like those little cards, whatever. Like, you can literally go to like Walmart and buy like pre-perforated like business card things. You just run it through a printer and it prints everything out on the card, and you kind of break it apart on the paper, and you got business cards. Like, just doesn't have to be super elegant, super fancy, just your name, your email, like a link to your portfolio and your LinkedIn or GitHub or whatever, and just hand those out to everybody that you meet. And if you run out, great, go print some more, go back. So if you have the opportunity and the time and the privilege and so on to go to a tech conference, that's another great place, because tech conferences generally have a lot more people than a meetup. So those would be good ideas around networking. Aside from that, just virtual networking, like just reaching out to people that you find interesting on LinkedIn and say, hey, I'm just building my network. I'm looking for interesting people that have similar ideas than me. LinkedIn's got like technology groups and things like that. So if you're really into React, you can join a React group. If you're really into Postgres, you can join a Postgres group or a Mongo group or whatever you're learning. You can find those groups on LinkedIn, and you can go find people in those technology groups on LinkedIn and just start networking with them, get to know them, chat with them a little bit. Hey, this is how I'm using Mongo. Do you have any suggestions about this or that? Could you look at this like 5-line block of code and tell me, is there any way that I could make this better? Like, don't hand them your whole project and say, can you give me a code review? Ask them to say like, hey, could you look at like this block of code, this specific block of code in this file, look at these 10 lines of code. Is there anything that you could do better on these 10 lines of code? Like, how could you do this better? Or this is what I'm trying to do and this block of code's not working. Like, or, you know, I'm not sure how to make it do what I want it to do. Like, do you have any suggestions? You'll get tons of people going, yeah, I'll look at 10 lines of code. I'm not going to look at like 500 lines of code. But if you ask me for a code review, like, can you go look at these 10 lines of code? Absolutely. I'll do it right now. Like, drop a link in chat. I'll go like pull up your code right now and like do a code review. Maybe not in JavaScript. I'm not that great in JavaScript, and I don't know a thing about React, but that's how you network. You get to know people and then just ask them for a tiny, tiny favor. And just, hey, could you like code review that 10 lines of code? And then like thank them profusely for their time. All right, my camera just froze. Let me go deactivate it and reactivate it. Apologize for that. I am plagued with technology issues this weekend. One of my monitors stopped working last night. My camera's freezing up all the time. I don't know what's going on. I need to like tear all this stuff down and like rebuild it and put all new plugs and stuff in. I just got some new like HDMI and DisplayPort cables in this morning, so I gotta like swap all that stuff out, see if that's gonna help. I want to get like one bigger screen instead of like the multi-screen thing I got going on anyway. So good times. So yeah, you just sent in a resume. Cool. So this Thursday I'm gonna do resume reviews. I've got 3 or 4 of them queued up. So if you want to get a resume in, you're absolutely welcome to. There's a link on the website that you can go see, or you can just send it over here. Don't worry about the $50 thing on there, but when you go to the page, you'll see like I do private resume reviews for $50, but not for 100 devs and not for boot camps. If you are already in the industry and you're already working and you want a private review, I charge $50, but it's going into the fundraiser. And then I match that $50. So it's not like the $50 is going out of my pocket. It's going into this, and then I'm adding to it. So literally every penny that I make as a streamer, all the money that I make on resume reviews, any donations that come in, bits that you cheer, subs, all that stuff is all going into this pot of money, and I'm matching all of that. And it's strictly going to diversity in tech. So yeah, so if you want a resume review, we're going to do that on Thursday. So get those resumes in, and we're just going to go through like a bunch of resumes. And again, just from my perspective, of this is what stands out. This is what I think that could be improved, you know, and what stands out in a good way, and what stands out like, you know, in a way that could be improved. Like, you know, if you move this thing around, or, you know, you got too many font changes or whatever. You can also go check out my YouTube channel. I've got lots of resume reviews on there, and it'll give you an idea of like what to expect when I look at your resume. Or you may just look at that and go, okay, I've just got like 100 tips already. I'm going to go improve it, you know, just based on that. So you're totally welcome to do any of those. C-Film says, I'm trying to get better at using LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a bit interesting. Like I've seen a lot more people use it lately just as a social network of like, hey, here's a picture of me and my dog. It's like, okay, yeah, that's, to me, that's like more Facebook sort of content or Twitter kind of content. I like to post things on LinkedIn. Like, this is my business side of my persona. Like, this is what I'm doing on the job. This is what I'm involved in. This is a conference I'm going to, or a talk that I'm giving, or here's a blog post that I wrote. That's how I tend to use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also a really great way to journal, like, this is how I'm getting started in tech. And some advice that I actually gave to a mentee recently, they wanted to learn some new technology. And they're having a hard time getting a job. And so my suggestion to them was, well, let's figure out like what tech stack do you want to use to go get that new job? And they're like, I'm just going to pick one at random here. They're like C#.net. I'm like, okay, cool. You want to learn C#. Go take a project that you've already built, rebuild it in C#.net. If you go build like a whole new project, you've got to figure out how to solve the problem plus C#.net. But if you just go rebuild a project that you've already made, then you've already solved the problem. You already know how to solve the problem. You just have to go figure out the syntax and the grammar and whatever to actually go implement it in that new tech stack. So take a project that you've already done and rebuild it. And what I said is to this person is like, if you really want like accountability around learning that technology and getting to know people and network, here's what you do. You blog on medium.com or even better would be dev.to as a website, and just blog. I'm starting to learn C#.net. Here's what I'm going to be building. You know, you can put a screenshot of your old project and say, this is what I'm going to be building in C#.net. And I'm going to blog like twice a week. I'm going to blog on Mondays and Thursdays and just update everybody on my progress. And then that's it. That's all you need for that first post. I'm out there. I'm doing this thing. Put that link on LinkedIn. Start adding those skills to your LinkedIn profile. And then start learning the thing. Start building the thing. The next day that you blog, just say, this is the progress that I've made. This is what I've built so far. Here's a screenshot of my code. See you Monday. And it doesn't have to be, here's how to build this thing in C#.net. It's just, here's my progress building this project in C#.net and all the things that I needed to know and all the things that I needed to implement in this other project. This is how I'm doing it in C#.net. And just, here's my progress. Put some screenshots of your code in there and say, see you Monday, see you Thursday. And just do that on a regular basis. Put those links on LinkedIn. Start getting, post it if you're on like 100 Devs Discord or on some other Discord. Post it in there and be like, hey, can I get some likes? Could I get some shares? Kind of thing. Ask people to like it. There's nothing wrong with asking people to like your posts. They start going in and they start liking it. It's going to start showing up to their network. Other people are going to see it, and it explodes from there. But that's the journey that you want to take. Is just start blogging and say, this is me. This is what I'm learning. See you in a couple of days, and don't do it from a position of here's how to do this thing. Just say, this is my experience doing the thing. That's it. That's all you need. And just boom, you're going to start getting likes. You're going to start growing that network. And again, put it on LinkedIn, put it on Twitter, put it on Discord, like wherever you regularly share and regularly hang out, or just do all of them anyway. And you'll start seeing all those networks grow around, this is my experience learning this thing. That's it. That's all you need. And the exposure from that and what we call discoverability from that is going to like take off. Like people are going to find you. Especially if it's like an open source kind of thing and you're sharing your repo and sharing what you're doing. Makes it a lot easier then to like do code reviews. And then when you are applying for that job, you can say, by the way, here's a whole bunch of blog posts that I made or video tutorials, like however you're documenting your progress. Make a page on your portfolio of all those blog posts so that people can go in and they can also see that journey. And they're like, wow, look at this person go. Like they're blogging about their experience. They're helping other people like understand where they're coming from and their perspectives. And again, not from a perspective of here's how to do this thing, but just here's my experience doing this thing. You're going to get discovered by other people. And I bet you're going to get reached out to by companies going, hey, we've been watching what you're doing. So that would be my recommendation on that. Let me scroll back through chat. I know I was just yammering on there for a minute. Let me go see what else. So C-Films. So about getting better at LinkedIn, that would be my suggestion, is just really take care of that network, like reaching out to people, figuring out like, is there anybody else you can introduce me to? And then just start posting on a regular basis, but also engage with what other people write on LinkedIn. Like their things, add a little comment like, hey, that post was really great, keep it up. Like just be encouraging about it. Like encouraging to other people. And then, if something goes wrong, I'd be like, you know what, I really hope to make some progress this week, and just, my cat died or like whatever. Like it's okay to post some of that and just say, you know what, I'm holding myself accountable, and that's why I'm posting publicly I'll, you know, I'm gonna make some progress over the weekend, see you Monday, kind of thing. Like, just, you got to keep that regular cadence, Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, or whatever cadence you want. I mean, if you've got the time and the energy to do like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, do that. The more you can do, the more it's going to get out there. You don't want to overwhelm people though. You don't want to post like 5 times a day. Posting every day might be a bit much even. So you do want to kind of scale it back and like make them wait for it. You know, they'll start to anticipate it. Like, oh, you know, can't wait till like C Films like updates us on that next, you know, TV film movie project thing that he's building. Like, you know, there's all kinds of sort of anticipation that you can build up in other people. But yeah, that would be my recommendation for nurturing LinkedIn, is just start doing things on a regular basis, posting on a regular basis, and then asking people like, hey, can you go like that thing, reshare that thing. The other thing I'll mention about LinkedIn profiles is you can go in and you can add your own skills of like, this is what I claim to know, but you really need other people to go in and sort of endorse you, as they call it, for those skills. So for example, C Films, I think you said you did your thing in PHP. So on your LinkedIn profile, just say I'm a PHP developer, and then get other people to go in and say, yep, you're a PHP developer. As an employer, when I look at that, I don't necessarily go, wow, 500 people said this person knows PHP. But at some, well, I should say like, oh, 5 people said you know PHP, you know, okay, that's fine. But like if 500 people say you know PHP, it's like, okay, you know PHP. If you can get like a lot of people, I'm not saying you've got to go like get 500 people to say that you know how to do a thing, but like once it starts getting over like a dozen, 2 dozen people saying that you know how to do a thing, employers are going to believe it a lot more. But if people go to your LinkedIn profile and you only have like 1 person endorse you to say like, yes, you know HTML, then they're like, do you really? Like, you claim to know HTML, 1 other person in your whole network claims that you know HTML. Like, that's where you can also reach out to your network. And again, as part of the regular nurturing sort of thing. I did this myself when I got into teaching and I got into developer relations work. I reached out to literally every student that I had and said, hey, could you go back to my LinkedIn profile and just endorse me for like instructor, mentor, you know, manager kind of things? And I told them specifically which skills to go endorse me for. Now I got like dozens or hundreds of people like, yep, Ian knows how to do these things. I often told students like, hey, go onto each other's LinkedIn. Like, I'm teaching you Ruby on Rails. So go into each other's LinkedIn and say, I know Ruby, I know Rails. But go do that for your instructors too, because if we're teaching you, then maybe we know a thing or two about it too. And, you know, don't forget the instructors, right? And so then students were going in and they were doing this for the instructors too. And so it helps our profiles as well. So that's how you kind of utilize LinkedIn as much as possible. I can give you other tips if you want to do like a LinkedIn review. You can just submit that at like the resume review. Just upload any file. You know, send me like your favorite meme graphic or something like that, and then in the description just say like, here's my LinkedIn profile, can you review my LinkedIn? And I'll do that live on the stream instead of a resume if you want. So send me over your LinkedIn profiles, and I'll give you tips on like, hey, change your title to this and do this in your about section and stuff like that. C Films does Twitch streaming 1 day a week. That's great. Do coding streams. Fantastic. That's a great thing. Like, start documenting those. And if you can go make a YouTube channel, go upload your VODs to YouTube afterwards so that you've got like an archive of those if you can. And then you can document those. Like, again, like that's all part of your portfolio. That's all part of who you are and what you're capable of doing. So go do that on a regular basis. Josh 2001, sorry I missed your follow a couple minutes ago. Something's not working with the lights and stuff like blinking in the background. I need to go take a look at that. Normally when somebody follows, we would see, oops, wrong button. But normally when somebody follows, you'd see them blink and we'd see something sort of pop up here. So cool. Let's keep going back through chat. I know I missed a bunch of other stuff. Robo also was saying, I was thinking of making a blog website, but would Dev2 be better in general? I like using a third-party thing for that blogging now. I used to do blogging myself. Like, you can go to iandouglas.com and you can see like old blog posts going like way back in the day, where I'm doing like technology reviews and like all kinds of stuff. But it gets really dated. And so I would say like those more modern platforms are going to help with discoverability as far as other people finding your articles. Now, what you can do is what we call syndication. So just like a TV show where like, you know, whatever TV network, they make a TV show and then they syndicate it by like selling someone else the rights to that thing, and then they can start broadcasting it. You can syndicate without payment usually. You can syndicate your blog posts from whatever engine you use, whether it's WordPress or something. You can syndicate it over to dev2 or medium.com. And so they get a copy of it. So you sort of author it on your website, and then you can send it over to theirs. Or you can just author it on their website and then just make a portfolio page back on yours that links to all of those. And just make sure that those links stay the same. So if you change your username, all those links are going to break and stuff like that. So just make sure that those URLs consistently work. But keep an archive of like, here's all my blog posts about React, and here's all my blog posts about JavaScript. Like you can kind of do that in your own portfolio. But those platforms are also going to allow you to add tagging and things like that too. And so people can say, go look at all of Ian's articles. Sorry, my camera locked up again. Go look at all of Ian's articles, you know, around Python or something like that. And you would be able to like narrow those down. So yeah, I'm old enough in the industry now where I'm like, I could go build my own, but I don't want to. Like, I'm just going to go use somebody else's platform. Like I could do it. You know, I mean, I think it'd be an interesting project to do if you're new in tech, to say, you know, I built my own blog platform. But a lot of people are going to look at that and go, okay, you reinvented the wheel. Like, why not just use something else that's already established? And I think a lot of those other platforms really help when it comes to discoverability. Like I said, because when I go read a post on dev2, it'll say, here's like a couple of other authors you might enjoy reading, or here's some other recent posts that you might like based on this one. You know, whether it's the tagging or the authors, things like that, you can then discover more things to go read. And so it's a good way to get people to find your things. So me personally, I would use something like dev2. Dev2 is more like technology focused, where medium.com is kind of like, you know, you can blog about anything. Like, here's a picture of my dog, or here's how I'm doing dog training. It doesn't have to be technology centric, but dev2 is specifically technology. So I would say if you're going to blog about tech, I would do it on dev2. Medium is probably a bigger platform as far as like the audience. So you may get like the occasional extra person dropping by. You might want to see if you can syndicate from dev2 over to Medium and just make copies of it, or just post it on both. You know, like write it up on one, copy and paste it on the other one. It's really up to you how you want to do that. Sorry, I know I'm way behind in chat here. I think a trap of many devs is they spend a lot of time building the blog site and then don't blog. Yeah, I agree. Blacksmith Pop, good to see you as well. Blacksmith Pop is a big supporter of the channel. I appreciate you dropping by. Yep, definitely get in on those giveaways. So a couple of other folks have done Bang giveaway. Get in the daily giveaway, and then every daily giveaway is going to get you into the monthly giveaway. At the end of the month, we got some big stuff planned. What else did I miss? C-Film says, my number one skill on LinkedIn is public speaking, which has 32 endorsements. That's cool. So yeah, I mean, you can totally do that. Like, go over to my LinkedIn and like endorse me for like live streaming and whatever. I don't even know if I have live streaming on there, but like public speaking and mentoring and teaching and things like that. Like, go endorse me for some of that. That'd be cool. Daddy Wazzy, good to see you in chat as well. Hope that your Sunday's going good. Cyberpam showed up in chat. Where are my stream technicians? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I need to like tear all this stuff down and like rebuild things. I've got a feeling that I'm chaining too many USB hubs together, and that's what my camera's plugged into, and it's probably just like a USB bandwidth kind of thing. But I'm not really sure exactly what's going on. Usually stream on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. All right, cool. Yayo says, how many resumes do you review per stream? I've done like up to 6 or 7 per stream. And will I do it in this one? Yeah. So if you send me a resume today, I'll do the review on Thursday for sure. Just ask them, because if you end up reviewing my resume at any point, it might be on a Friday at 3 a.m. I got you. Okay. Let's do it right now. Just for the sake of Yayo's time zone, I'm going to go pull that up right now. So bear with me for a minute while I go grab that. Yayo, you said you just sent me yours. I don't want to like dox your name because normally I ask that resumes get anonymized. Just sent it? Okay, so then this most recent one is yours. I always want to be careful not to dox people. So let me pull up this window. Now we'll bring that into here. So Yayo, if your resume is the one that has the picture on it, is that the right resume? Just want to make sure that I'm looking at the right one before I pull it up online here. You did anonymize your email and so on. So yeah, okay, it is yours because you've got your other username on there. Cool. Yeah, let me pull it up. I do need to like resize a browser window, so bear with me for a sec while I go to this screen. And I'm going to share not my entire OBS setup. We are going to share that. All right, so here is Yayo's resume. You reposition that over there. You like that. All right, there we go. Cool. So if other people are in chat, if you've got ideas and thoughts about Yayo's resume, you're absolutely welcome to do that. Just please be supportive. We're all here to support each other and help each other out on this. So let's have a look through a resume. So the first thing that stands out is your picture. Committed college student with a passion for tech. Computer bug hit me as a kid when I got my hands on a laptop at 10. Never looked back. Experience in front end, web, mobile app, UI UX, programming, and office suites. Keen to solve difficult problems, provide effective solutions, eager, reliable, communicative. Cool. So you're mentioning a lot of soft skills in there, which is great. You got it down to one page, which is also good. So a handful of things here. So the phone numbers that you've got down here on your reference are not North American. So I'm going to guess European CV sort of style. So a handful of things. In some countries, so just for everybody's benefit, in some countries, it's okay to have a photo on the CV. In North America, we generally take the photo off. Having your name on there is fine. Having this intro is fine. But in North America, we would typically not put a photo, and we would put your contact information up on the top. You do have your contact info here, though, which is fine. I would probably make sure that LinkedIn has a capital I on there, and just make sure that you're spelling those things right. You got your GitHub on there. Cool. So let's dive in here a little bit. Tucker Tech brings up a good point in chat. Some recruiters in America aren't even allowed to review a resume of a picture on it. So they have an alternative for American jobs. If you're applying for a job in North America, yes. If you're applying for a job where you live, then that's totally okay. I would leave the format. I would probably drop some of these lines. Like you've got this big vertical line kind of splitting your left and right column, but then you're adding all these other like horizontal lines as well. So we'll get into some of that. I think that some of this is okay. Generally, what you want to do on this introduction on a resume is you want to talk about the value that you bring to them as a company, not so much about your background. So not so much about like this kind of statement. Having a passion for technology is fine. Being really excited about UI, UX, and accessibility and things like that is fine to have. Talking about other kinds of things that you want to do and the soft skills, absolutely, you can keep those on there. Office suites is less important as a developer. So if you're positioning yourself as a web developer, I would probably remove office suites. That's not going to be as important to most of what we do in our jobs. But this kind of like historical, like this is how I got into tech, is generally not going to be part of the introduction. One thing that I recommend on the channel is you want to customize your resume for the role that you're applying to. And so you may want to change this up a little bit to talk about like, this is the value that I bring to your specific company. And the way that you do that is you kind of make a big resume where you put all your projects and all your skills, and then you trim it back down to one page to apply for a specific job. And so you make a copy of the really big resume or the really big CV. And when you make that copy, then you take away everything that company is not going to care about. And you make that introduction specific to them and specific to their company. And then say, talk if they're in, say, the gaming industry, that introduction should talk about why you're passionate about working in the gaming industry. If it's a marketing company, why are you interested in working in a marketing company? Stuff like that. So make that introduction a little more specific, at least to the industry where you're applying, or like the type of company. And if you do it in a generic enough way where you're targeting a specific kind of company, like, I used to work at SendGrid, so email comes to mind. So if I was really fired up about I really want to work in the email industry, then you can make that introduction about why you care about the email industry. And now you've got a resume that you can send to any email company. You don't have to go back and recustomize it necessarily. You've got your email industry kind of resume ready to go. And so, yeah, I would just rewrite some of that introduction a little bit. Education, you got your current education on here. High school is okay for the European CV. For the North American one, I probably wouldn't put high school on here. Generally, they would say keep your grades off the resume unless you've got very high grades. What I would typically recommend is putting your project work first. As a hiring manager, when I'm reading through this resume, I want to know what do you claim to know? How have you practiced it? Where have you learned it? In that order. I see your skills block over here, and we'll get to that in a sec. And so I see the skills that you claim to know, but I've got to read through all of this before I get to the actual projects that you've made. And so what I might do is I might actually shrink the font size a little bit so that you can get an additional project or two on here. It would be good to see more projects. And we'll talk about other things that you can take off the resume to make more room for that. But I think that it'd be a good idea to have multiple projects on the resume, and maybe less about I was the founder of a gaming club. Now, if you're applying for a job with a gaming company, then that would be a good thing to put on there. Things top 11, these kinds of qualified things, absolutely keep those on there. Merit awards, keep those on the resume. Those always look good on the resume. But I would typically put projects and then education. So that way I can see this is what you know, this is where you're practicing it, and then this is where you've learned it. The next thing I would see on the page then is this varsity college that you're currently in. Leadership, extracurricular. Again, gaming club is fine if it's a gaming company. If it's a photography company, you can say you're a member of a photography club. So again, you want to show them what's relevant. If it's a gaming company, they're probably not going to care that you're in photography, and vice versa. If it's a photography company, it's okay, well, you're part of the gaming club. Great. That doesn't bring any value to me and my company. The fact that you're a member of a photography club, that brings value because I know that you're actually really passionate about photography. So figuring out when you apply to a specific company, what are they going to want to see and what are they not going to care about? So you've already mentioned photography. You're part of a photography club, so you don't really need to put that here. You're learning about web development, so again, that's not really an interest. I generally tell people don't put interests on a resume. And the reason why is if I'm a hiring manager and I'm looking for somebody who knows Python and machine learning, your resume is going to hit on that because you claim to know Python, and I'm going to see AI ML on your resume. And so if I search for Python AI ML, your resume is going to pop up, but you don't know AI ML. You're just interested in it because you don't claim it as a skill up here. You just claim to be interested in that thing. And so this is something that we call keyword stuffing, where you're just stuffing keywords into your resume to kind of get hits when they search for your resume. And that's something that you have to be careful about because Some recruiters are going to go, oh, you're not an AI ML developer, and they're just going to delete your resume. And so I generally tell people, like, don't put interests on here, because these keywords are going to hit your resume on a keyword search. And then they're going to look at that and go, well, you don't actually know that. And so you're not a good candidate for that role. And they may just delete you out of the system. And you don't want to get deleted out of the system. So if you've got experience with it, if you've done like any kind of AI ML project, get that on the resume, put that up here in your skills block, but take it out of the interests. So I would generally like take this off completely. Having spoken languages, absolutely keep that on there. I think that that's fantastic. As far as like keeping your references on a resume, most companies will ask for references once they want to offer you the job. It may not be important to put that on the resume to begin with, but again, every country is a little bit different. Every culture is going to be a little bit different about that. So if it's expected to be on your resume, then I would leave the references on there. But again, I think if you shrink the font on here just a little bit, I'm not sure what font size you're using on here without like pulling it into an editor. But I would say generally you want to make all of the text on here 10-point font. Your name at the top, I would typically do, I typically tell people you get 3 font sizes. So your name will be like 18 to 20 point. These headings will typically be like 12 to 14 point. And all other text on the page, like all of this text, every other bit of text on the page, make all the same size at like 10-point font. Now, if it looks like there's too much empty space on the page when you do that, then that's where you can start adding in other projects or other skills and things like that, where you claim to know things. I would also take off the basic keyword here and just say you claim to know C#, you claim to know basic, or you claim to know Python. Let the company figure out how much you know about those things. Don't say like, oh, I'm brand new at this, or I don't know that. Like, don't put that on the resume. Let them figure out what level you are. You might think you're actually like basic understanding, but once you get in, they're like, you know enough to do the job. So that's fine. So you don't want to put levels on there. You don't want to put progress indicators and things like that on there. So I would remove those. Let's see, is there anything else that I can offer on that? So from a project point of view, I love that you've got a link over to your GitHub for that project. If there's any way that you can actually deploy that online, like if you can put it on Netlify or even just GitHub pages, if it's just JavaScript, if you can put that online somewhere and make that link actually go to the website, and then next to it, say like, here's a link to GitHub, and then let me click on that if I want to see the code, then that would be fantastic. It is on GitHub pages, because this is pointing over to just github.com, and it looks like this is going to go over to your repo if I open that up. So that's just going over to the repo. But like, I would love to experience this. I would love to actually be able to click on it and see what you've built aside from a screenshot. Like if this was actually launched somewhere, and the README file on this is fantastic, by the way. What you learned, what you struggled with, this is brilliant. This is great. I wish more people did this. Here's a tech stack I used, why I used that stack, requirements. Like, whoever taught you to do READMEs did a great job. This is fantastic. Yeah, amazing README. OU Moon. Yeah, do more of that. Oh, okay, so if I click here, okay, so this is a click. Oh no, 404, ruh-roh. You don't want that. So yeah, you'll want to fix that for sure. But yeah, I love that README file. That README file is great. Wait, it might not work. Yeah, those are the things that you want to double check before you start handing out that resume. Make sure all those links work. But if you can get that link on the resume itself, then I don't have to click into your GitHub to click over to go experience the site. I can see that immediately on the resume itself. So I would put that right on the resume and make this link the link to the actual like GitHub pages, and then give me a link aside, like on the side of that, go like GitHub code or something like that. I like that you're showing me the tech stack and responsibilities here. What I like to see on a resume when you're talking about your projects is a user empathy statement of like, what does the user do? So you design a website from scratch using Figma and so on, that's fine. But like, what is this website all about? I can kind of guess it's a secondhand thrift store website, but like, you know, user mimics an e-commerce solution you know, in JavaScript. Like just give me like a 15-word sort of pitch on like what is this website even all about. You've got a lot of it in the title, but I like to see a user empathy statement because it tells me that you built this with a user in mind and not just, yeah, I built this project because I was told to do it at school. But if you can write a user empathy statement like, I wrote this web page so that people could mimic an e-commerce solution for a thrift store or something like that. Now you're doing it from a user's perspective. And that shows me a deeper user experience, user interface type of mindset for why you built something. The link should be fixed. Sweet, now I want to go look at it. Thank you everybody else, by the way, for other things that you're dropping in chat. Like Fool Snable, appreciate all the stuff on here. So let me reload. No, still broken. So yeah, hopefully, so that's how I like to do a resume review. And I realized I didn't clip that out just now. So I'll go back and I'll add a clip on that so that that'll get isolated as a resume review on YouTube. But yeah, that's how I like to do. That's how I like to do my resume reviews. There's a great face right there for a screenshot. Let me go fix my camera. Come on, camera. There we go. Yeah, I think there's something. I've had this happen in the past where the USB thing was just saturated with too much stuff because I got lights and my microphone and my camera and like a whole bunch of stuff all plugged into a whole bunch of USB hubs all the way back to my PC. So I have a feeling that's what the problem is. I need to like go back and resort all this stuff out on my desk. I had it all working and then stuff started breaking. I started unplugging stuff and like chaining things into like the same USB channel. And I think I'm just saturating the USB traffic. Commander Cool asked in chat, spoken language is always a keeper, or in this particular case, if you speak multiple languages and it's going to be important to that company, I would absolutely put it on there. If you're not sure, I would still put it on there. If you need the space for something that is highly relevant to the company, then I would remove other things that are less relevant that they may not care about, or find some other way of putting it on the page, like put the flags or something on there, something. But yeah, I like seeing multi-language. It shows again that you've got more cultural perspective that you're going to bring to my team. So Robo Oso I think you're the first person to actually redeem that channel point. So 3 minutes as Hello Kitty. I'll do my best. So this is my Clone Trooper helmet. I'll do my best to read the screen, but I have to take my glasses off to wear the helmet. So it's a little bit small, but yeah, 3 minutes is Hello Kitty. So thank you for the channel point redeem. This is my Clone Trooper helmet. It's 3D printed. It has a really cool red visor in it, and it's fogging up a lot, so it's gonna make it even harder for me to see what's going on. But this is my Hello Kitty 3D printed helmet. I actually got this through another Twitch channel here on Twitch that does a lot of work around 3D printing and just building up 3D printing communities. And that channel is Loyal Moses, exactly how it sounds. The word loyal and the name Moses, that's actually his real name, Loyal Moses. And you can go check out his channel if you ever want to get into 3D printing, or you're just curious about 3D printing. It's a fantastic channel, really, really great community over there. I love supporting that community. I can't read anything. This mask is completely fogging up on the inside. So I can see my lights in front of me, but I can't see anything else. So, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and just sort of talk and nod and, you know, this is me. Let's see. I've got a thing up here somewhere. There we go. Since I can't read chat anyway, I might as well give you like a full screen version of me. And this is me. You can see my messy desk back here. Yeah, we can talk about the giveaway some more. So if you haven't already entered the giveaway, !giveaway, and I've got all kinds of fun 3D printed stuff like this that I'm going to give away. I've got Star Wars kits. I've got Star Trek kits, which I would be happy to show you. But again, I can't see a thing in this helmet. And I'm not just quoting Star Wars, I legit am telling you I can't see a thing in this helmet. But yeah, I'm going to be packaging them up in envelopes that look like this, and I'm going to be sending these around the world. And so if you want to get in on that giveaway, !giveaway. Let me go back over to this screen. So you can see it at the bottom of the chat list over here. I know chat just cleared out. I'm not sure why, but you can see the !giveaway in the little box over here under the chat window. And I gotta take this thing off because I can't see anything at all. But that was fun. Thank you. That's my Hello Kitty redeem. I need to like make a really big timer on the screen that I can like start some kind of countdown on there, because I can't see a thing in that helmet. I legit can't see a thing at all. Reminds me of my dad's Vader helmet. Yeah, that was 2 minutes. All right, well I promise I'll wear it for a minute longer, like after stream or something like that. Respirators don't function. Yeah, I wonder if I could like poke holes in the top of it or something to like vent, or like poke a couple of air holes in the edge of the visor or something, because it's like completely fogging up in there. I suppose if I just stopped breathing, that would help. But yeah, Robo. So I think you were the first one to redeem it. I've shown it on screens, like, hey, I got this cool like Hello Kitty like clone trooper helmet. So yeah, basically Loyal Moses, he bought the model for the clone trooper helmet, and then he had a designer friend of his design it as Hello Kitty, and he was printing these back in, I want to say April or May, in a really light pink with a red bow, and they look fantastic for Hello Kitty. And I'm like, could I get one in blue? And he's like, I kind of want to do them in pink. I'm like, no, give me this dark sparkle blue filament. Like, this is amazing, like dark blue. It's got a bit of a really shiny glitter kind of look. You can't really see it on the camera, but it's there, I promise. And I'm like, keep the red on there, but I want it in a dark blue. And as soon as he made it, he's like, I love this helmet. And so he actually kept it for a long time before he actually shipped it to me. And I'm like, hey, where's my helmet at? You know what, the little face holes down here, he's got the visor all the way down here. I might actually poke holes in there so that when I'm exhaling, it's actually going to come out of here instead of like fogging up the mask inside. So I think I'll do a little bit of work on that and see if I can make that a little more habitable. Let's see, what else did I miss in chat? Refresh, the URL changed. Okay. Oh, you changed it in the about, but not in the README. Okay. On projects, we should include the tech stack used directly on the resume, or is it enough to be in the GitHub? So Tucker Tech, that's a great question. Sorry, I know chat just cleared out over here. I'm not sure why that refreshed, but when you're listing projects on a resume, should we include the tech stack? I think you can if you use multiple technologies. If you are just a JavaScript developer and you use React and that's what your whole resume is about, then you probably don't need to put that on there. If all of the resume, or if all the projects you're putting on the resume are React projects, you could even just change the title from project work to like React projects, and just that way they know all of these are React. But if you're using specific libraries or calling specific APIs or things like that in the project, you probably want to call that stuff out. Again, it gives me a little more information as a hiring manager when I'm looking at the resume around like what you built and why you built it. Commander Cool, I left for 2 minutes. What did I miss? Yeah, I can't see squat in that helmet. That's all you missed. Tricloud remembers it from Loyal's stream. Sorry I had to take your glasses off. Oh, no worries, no worries. I actually tried wearing contacts for a while, but I'm actually old enough now. I need bifocals for reading stuff up close. And so they tried giving me bifocal contact lenses, and they didn't work very well. What I think I need to do is just get like single vision lenses, and then get an adjusted a set of glasses that if I do need to read something up close, that it'll add to the contact lenses to be like what I need to read up close. And then if I don't need to read that up close, I can just take them off, and the contact lenses will handle the distance vision. Then I could wear the helmet. Because I don't need the bifocal portion at the bottom to read the screen. I need the top part of the glasses to read the screen. That's why I'm constantly adjusting my glasses back up on my face, is so that I'm always looking through the top to actually see the screen. So yeah, if I went back to contacts and had an adjusted lens to enhance the contacts for the bifocal for like reading my phone, then that would be one thing. Sucks getting old. Take care of your vision, folks. That's another reason that I want to move to like one big screen instead of having all these little screens. Plus all these really bright lights in my face, it'll push those back a little bit more and be like right out of my eyeballs. So yeah, they do make bifocal contact lenses, but they didn't work very well for me. Car says, good to see you in chat. If transitioning into tech from another career, how much info from the other career should you show on the resume? Fantastic question. Whatever's relevant to start. So if you've got any sort of quantifiable information on there, like you were responsible for, you know, X amount of dollars in sales, or you did X number of projects in marketing or things like that, whatever is relevant to the company, you definitely want to keep on the resume. It is important that you can show that you were professionally employed. So those are all good things to have on there. You can definitely keep like any sort of soft skills, management, you know, team kind of work, like any teamwork, keep that stuff on the resume. Absolutely. Those things are what we look for. So you definitely want to keep those on there. What else would I keep? Yeah, so for example, like one question that I get on the channel from time to time is if I'm transitioning from some other career into tech, like say I'm coming from banking and I wanted to be a programmer, so I'm you know, going through 100 devs, or I went back to school to learn software development, you know, how do I get a job? Well, the number one place you're going to get a job is back in the industry where you just came from. So if you can get, you know, if you can tolerate finance and go back into finance now as a developer, it shows kind of that history of like, hey, you know, I was in the finance industry, now I'm doing development, but I want to do that in the finance industry because I know it really well. You're a lot more likely to get a job doing that. Plus, you can rely on the current network that you've already been building up with people in the finance industry. You can utilize them and say, hey, I'm still in finance, but now I'm a developer. You know, is your finance company hiring? A lot of fintech is hiring these days, especially if you can get into like the blockchain kind of stuff. There's a lot of work there to be done. Not a huge fan of blockchain stuff, more around the Web3 side of it. That's a whole other conversation. I understand what blockchain is used for, and I think that it's a good thing to use. And so from that aspect, I think getting back into an industry where you came from is probably your fastest route back into a developer role. Now, if you're like, I can't stand working in finance, like I absolutely never ever again want to work in finance, then that's fine. You don't have to go back into finance as a developer. You can go utilize those skills somewhere else, and you can say, I've dealt with money, I've dealt with contracts, I've dealt with people, you know, and now I'm going to go do that in healthcare or insurance or like some other kind of job, like where you're going to be utilizing those skills. You're going to be far more marketable to those companies than to say like, yeah, I used to be in finance and now I want to do gaming. Well, those are very different. Those are very different audiences, very different fundamentals. There are some commonalities and some, you know, like the whole idea of economics and things like that. If you want to get into like microtransactions and stuff like that in gaming, you could totally go down that route. But that's your fastest way back into the tech industry, is to go back to the industry you came from. So that would be one thing to think about. But again, if it's something that you can't tolerate and that's why you got out of it, or you're in the process of getting out of it, then yeah, you don't have to rely on it so much to get back into the tech industry. But it is important to put on the resume for sure. It shows employment. It shows that you've been trusted. It shows that, you know, you didn't decide until 50 to enter the workforce kind of thing. Like, you know, it shows that you've got some history, and I think employers will want to know like what you've been doing with your time. Yeah, very happy to do that resume review for you. Thank you for submitting it. I'm glad I could do it in a time zone. So I used to stream Sunday night and Thursday night, and then I had a whole bunch of people from European countries and Asian companies or countries say like, hey, like I like your content, but I can't be there live on your stream. And so I started streaming Sunday morning specifically for this purpose, so that people over in those other countries could attend live where it wasn't going to be like 3 a.m. So very happy to have done that resume review for you. So similar, if you want a resume review and you're in some other country where it's going to be really, really late at night, if I do the resume review Thursday night, just ping me in chat and let me know. and I can do another resume review. Otherwise, like if you're domestic, like C Films, I'm going to do yours Thursday night because I know you're in the States. Shiminyoy, can I just call you Shim for now? Thank you for the follow, by the way. I'll give you some blinky lights and a hello. Hello. 19, starting to learn web dev, FCC, TOP, Harvard, CS50, etc. Tips, projects to help coding appeal more, or anywhere to look to get myself interested in coding. Let me try and unpack that a little bit. So you're learning web development and going through like Harvard CS50. So Harvard CS50 is a fantastic program for like just learning data structures and algorithms and sort of computer science fundamentals. It's all free. So go check out YouTube for Harvard CS50. Lots of cool stuff on there. Asking about tips and projects to help with coding appeal to get yourself interested in it. I would kind of wonder, like, why are you going and studying all this if you're not already interested in it? If you're already interested in it, then that's your interest level. From there, you just need to figure out, like, what do I want to do with these superpowers? So now that I know how to do all this magic, what do I go do with it? From there, I would, what I typically coach people on is if I had millions and millions of dollars and I decided I wanted to pay all of your bills for the next year, what kind of software would you build? Like if I could just snap my fingers and give you any tech job, what would that tech job be? Where do you envision yourself being part of the tech industry? Do you want to build websites? What kind of websites? Do you want to work for a particular company? What kind of company are they? Do they have competition? Can you go apply at all of their competition? Those would be the starting questions that I would start out with, is like, what do you want to build? Why are you interested in tech in the first place? What got you interested in coding to go start with CS50 and things like that? What got you interested in computers? And then go from there. A lot of developers get interested in computers because they play games and they're like, I wonder how that game works. And they start learning like some game mechanics and they're like, oh, I want to go tinker and I want to like go make a simple little game. It's like, cool. I like working on code. I think I want to do this as a career. And so some people get into it from that way. Creative Bear, good to see you, by the way. Definitely get in on that giveaway. We'll do the giveaway drawing here in a little bit. So last couple of minutes chance to do exclamation point giveaway. Get in the daily giveaway. You will need to be here in chat to claim the gift if you were chosen as a recipient. But Emma Flex, thank you for the follow as well. I think I just realized why my lights aren't blinking, so I'll manually blink the lights for all the new follows. Hey, thanks for coming in. And Nando Twitch, good to see you as well. So yeah, I would say like what got you interested in coding in the first place? And then from there, try to figure out, okay, how do I get to that goal? What do I need to go learn to go do that thing? I will say, like, because a lot of developers get into the idea of software because of game development, the gaming industry is actually really hard to get into. It tends to overwork people, and the pay tends not to be really great because everybody wants to be a game developer. And your chance of hitting on a really major game title, like I was a lead developer on Fall Guys or something like that, like remotely small, so remotely small. You have to work in the game industry for a long time to get promoted up to work on major titles. Or you're the person that's like, you know, we want you to go like code the mechanics of, you know, when the person's running and their boot hits the ground, that you make that sound play. Like, you know, that's your claim to fame. You know, I worked on Call of Duty that when you run wearing this style of boot, it changes the sound when you run. Like, okay, you know, like a lot of people think that game development's like super glamorous, and it's really not. It's really just algorithms and you know, trying to figure out how to solve different kinds of problems that you can do in any kind of job. But game development, it's very competitive. A lot of people want those jobs, and so the pay tends to be lower, and you get overworked a lot. And so as glamorous as it may sound, it's really not that appealing to a lot of folks once you're in there. But I would say, like, go figure out what it is you're interested in doing and what it is you're interested in building, and then try to figure out from there, like, okay, or ask around, ask your network, like as you're building up your network and meeting people, like, I want to do this kind of development, what should I be learning? Figure out from there what you need to learn, and then go make a plan. you'll see like, is there a group like 100 devs or you know, free code camp or something like that? Do they have courses or structured curriculum that I can follow? It's important that it's structured, because if it's just like go learn Python machine learning, it's like, okay, well, there's so much that you could go learn, like where do you even start? But if you can find some curriculum on here's how to start learning machine learning in Python, you've got like a step-by-step kind of curriculum to follow, and that's going to help you a lot more than just random, you know, let me go watch another YouTube video or something like that. Like go find some structured curriculum. Free Code Camp is a good place to get started. They've got a ton of stuff on there where it'll walk you through a lot of tutorials, and it might just be like, here's a 4-hour intro on machine learning with Python, and that's fine. Go watch that, and then that'll give you an idea of like, okay, well, they use this library and that library, and they were doing this kind of coding, so let me go look at those and figure out like, how do I expose myself to more of those kinds of tools, and you'll start to learn and grow and so on that way. Thanks, Yo-Yo, for coming by. I think you might have already left chat, but thanks for dropping by for sure. Cool. Let's get into a giveaway, shall we? So last chance. I'll give everybody another 30 seconds or so. If you want to do exclamation point giveaway, then you can absolutely get in the giveaway. And every daily giveaway is going to give you an entry into the monthly giveaway. Hey, Jbrinker, good to see you as well. Cool. So you've already, yep. So Jbrinker's already in there, and I do want to work on a bang entries command. So maybe once we do the giveaway, I'm going to jump into some code, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to code the entries thing, where it's going to go look up your username and figure out how many entries you have, and then we'll test that out in chat as well. So once we do the giveaway, I'm not going to raid out. I'm going to work on some code for a minute, and then we'll probably raid out after that. So. It's Gosi, good to see you. Thanks for the recent follow and the first time chat. Good to have you by. So yeah, so we have Star Wars stuff. We've got Star Trek, if you're more into the other sci-fi, and those are just like little like Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Enterprise, or stuff like that. Or we have holiday themed. Which I have misplaced at the moment, because I was shifting so much stuff around on my desks. But I've got like, have like snowflake ornaments and like little holiday trees or Christmas trees, if you call them Christmas trees. I've got those kind of that I can like put in an envelope and send to you. Or I've got toys, and the toys are going to be things like, you know, the catapult, or if you're into like these little 3D puzzle things where you put these little pieces together to make like a shape. I've got these kinds of things that I can print. And so if you were selected as the giveaway recipient, you're going to give me a choice of Star Wars, Star Trek, holiday, or toy. Those will be your 4 options. The catapult is really cool, and it's all 3D printed. It's 100% 3D printed, even the little springs here. And so the catapult kit looks like this. Here's your catapult kit. It comes with a little target thing if you want to aim at it. But these are the springs right here. So there's 4 springs, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then the envelope will have instructions printed out on how to actually assemble it, and like where the model came from and all that kind of stuff. And maybe a little bit more about the giveaway and like what I do as a streamer and stuff like that. But yeah, this will be the kind of thing that you get. I'm going to print one of these. So Mayan Wolf rated into the channel and was a recipient of the giveaway and wanted one of these in green. And so I'm going to print one of these in a green color for Mayan Wolf. So yeah, so you'll have the choice between Star Wars, Star Trek, holiday, or toy. And so you will need to be in chat to claim your gift. So let's get into a giveaway. We had a couple of last second entries here, so I think we'll start a giveaway, shall we? We'll do a bit of a drum roll. All right, well let's pull up some stats to begin with. So if I do bang giveaway, it'll give us some total stats around. Okay, so today's giveaway has 14 entries. Well, there's 30 people viewing in chat, which means there's a whole bunch of people hanging out in chat that are not doing bang giveaway. So here's the thing. You don't have to be a follower. You don't have to be a subscriber. You're welcome to join the giveaway. So if you're hanging out in chat, if you're just lurking, please, bang giveaway. So today's giveaway has only got 14 entries. So y'all got a pretty good chance of being picked The monthly giveaway has 66 entries from 53 individual users. So this is basic stats of like going through and like counting things out of the database. That's all. So yeah, as soon as we do the giveaway, I'm going to switch over to code mode, and I'm going to show you how I've been coding up the giveaway. And I'm going to make that new command so that everybody can do ! entries, so that you can see how many total entries you have. So like Jay Brinker just did a moment ago when they did the giveaway up here, and it said, well, you've already entered today and you have 2 total entries. I want to do just bang entries. There goes my camera again. Great time for a screenshot there. Where you can do like bang entries, and it'll just say, Jay Brinker, you have 2 entries into the monthly giveaway. So I hand code all of my own giveaway stuff. I've been trying to move away from Stream Elements more and more. And I've got most of the stuff on my chatbot thing that I need. So, well, there's still 30 of you viewing, and no one new is entering the giveaway. So I think we'll close it, and we'll just do the drawing. How's that sound? All right, we'll drop some hype in chat. I'm gonna go make sure that my code editor is all loaded up. So drop some hype in chat for me, and we'll get going on the giveaway, and then we'll jump into code mode, and I'll show you some of the Python code that I've been working on. And I'll kind of walk through like what the giveaway does and things like that. If you want like a full walkthrough of how the giveaway code works, I think I put that up on YouTube recently, or you can go look at my recent VOD. I'm a Twitch Turbo user, so my VODs stick around for 2 months. So you can go find it. I just did it like a week ago, where I actually walked through the code and like step by step, like showed everything about the giveaway. Yeah, drop some hype for me in chat. I'm not gonna do the giveaway till I see at least a little bit of hype in chat. Come on, drop some hype emotes. Let me know you're excited for the giveaway, and then we'll do the giveaway. Let me get my code editor up and running. Install some stuff. No hype at all. Not even a little bit excited about the giveaway, folks. Come on, show me in chat. There we go. Jay Brinker's bringing the. Oh, I like the. Is that a wolf or a cat shaking his booty? That's great. Cyberpunk says, "Hey Ian, at the high level, could you explain how the dev works for your bot? Is it a third-party API or is it built into Twitch?" It's a bit of both, Cyberpunk. And yeah, I'll absolutely walk you through some of that. Okay, close that down. I just need to resize that window a little bit. So Twitch actually has 3 different APIs that we as developers can sort of access, and those so I'm using a third-party Python library called Twitch.io, which basically just watches for a lot of the chat events happening. So all the hype that's going by, and all the bang giveaway, like all those commands and so on. Tucker Tech pulling in my scream emoji. That's great. All right. So yeah, so this Twitch.io library is basically watching chat. And so I have it just kind of, if I see this chat message, do this. If I see that chat message, do that. And it's got a nice way of sort of breaking up the code into functions and things like that. So I'll show that here in a minute. All right, well, let's do a giveaway. So I'm going to do the giveaway for the daily. And our recipient is X90. You have been chosen. You had a 1 in 14 chance. So X90, if you're still in chat, let me know. Jay Brinker, you got like really great emojis. X90, you got to be here. If you are not here, I'm going to redraw. X90, let me know in chat that you're still around. Because I need to know which of those 4 things that you want. And then I'll have you like send me some details. But you got to be here. Must be present to claim your gift. I have to be careful because of legalities to not call it like this is a prize and you're a winner, because some countries have laws around like you're not allowed to enter giveaways from other countries and things like that, or there's like legalities around it. So you are the recipient of a gift for being chosen. X90. X, gonna give it to you. Now I got that song in my head. X90, come on. Gonna give you a few more seconds, and then we're gonna redraw. So we'll give X. Yeah, so it's go see. Yeah, there are laws and rules about like what you're allowed to do, even on Twitch. Like the Twitch terms of service say like you can't make people pay for entries and things like that. Like I can't say like this giveaway is only for subscribers, because you have to pay for the subscription, or you have to pay for a Prime, account at Amazon and use the Prime sub or anything like that. Or I can't say like this is only for people that cheer bits because bits cost money. Like you can't exclude certain portions. Like you can say this is for followers only, or followers, or you have to at least follow, because I don't think you can subscribe without being a follower. I guess you could follow and then subscribe and then unfollow, but what's the point of that? So you can say you have to be a follower in order to enter, and the sort of the limitation on that is I could turn chat into a way that you have to follow me to even write anything in chat. But I don't do that because I want everybody to feel welcome and come by and do this. So Blind X Fish, good to see you. Do Bang giveaway. We're trying to do a giveaway right now, but X90 is not responding. So if X90 is not here, we're going to redraw. So Blind X Fish, do ! giveaway for me in chat and get in on that daily giveaway. So every time I stream and you come by and you do Bang giveaway, that's going to give you another entry into the monthly giveaway at the end of the month that we'll be doing. So everybody that comes by, I'm going to be doing really, really big giveaways. So you're going to want to be in on that giveaway for sure. Yep, Bang giveaway. That's it. Oh, you must be following the channel to enter the giveaway. I guess I do have that on. My apologies. Oh, Bandy. Yep. So yeah, sorry. I guess you do need to be a follower. Yeah, sorry. I guess I did have that turned on. So again, that's something that I've coded into my giveaway bot, that you have to be a follower. So it's okay to say you have to be a follower, but I can't say you have to subscribe to my channel in order to enter the giveaway. Sorry for the confusion on that. Cool. All right. So you've each got entries. We haven't heard from X90. X90, this is your last chance. I'm going to give you like 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to redraw. So yeah, there are legalities where in other countries you can't say you've won something as part of a giveaway. You're like not allowed to enter giveaways or something like that. So this is just, hey, go type a chat command, and then I'm gonna like randomly pick somebody that did one of those. Resume reviews? Yes, I do resume reviews, absolutely. As soon as I fix my camera. If you'd like a resume review, here's a link that you can send it to. You can just send it over to techinterview.guide/resume review, and I'll review it on stream. If you're in the United States, I'm going to do a whole bunch of them Thursday evening, or North America or South America kind of time zones. Oh, did the Nanoleaf thing not work either? Sorry, Cyberpam. I will change that for you to Vaporware. I'll do it manually on my phone because apparently my streamer bot thing is broken. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. Let me go do... And Cyberpam, I appreciate your sub, by the way. Thank you for subscribing. All that sub money is going into our diversity and tech fundraiser. All right, let me change the nanolights to Vaporware. Oh, it's on cooldown. I even cooled down myself on that. That was not cool. All right, let me go change the Nanoleaf lights for Cyberpam. No, don't turn them off. Turn them back on. And go to Vaporwave. I spelled it wrong anyway. I was going to spell it Vaporware. Yeah, something went wrong with the channel point redeem. Okay, so Vaporware, did it change? Yes, there we go. Wait, did it actually change? Okay, yep, that's the one. Okay, so that's on Vaporwave. Yeah, I need to go figure out all my bot stuff again. like I was saying on the stream, like a bunch of stuff broke. All right. So yeah, so I do resume reviews. I'm going to do a bunch on Thursday. You're too shy for it, just anonymize your resume. So I typically ask, like, at the minimum, please anonymize your phone number and your email address. If you want me to kind of link from that over to your GitHub and so on, and do like GitHub review or LinkedIn review or anything like that, you can ask me to do that as well. Just let me know when you submit the resume. Just say, like, I'm looking for a LinkedIn review, like here's my LinkedIn or anything like that. I'll go do any of those. I have a complete website as a resume, usually sending that instead of a PDF. Okay. Some applications, though, for jobs, they require some kind of resume. So having something that you can submit to them that's a one-page, sort of like, here are my skills, would be good to have. Some companies are going to be like pretty strict on that. So stay icy. Thanks for the follow as well. Get in on the giveaway. What time on Thursdays? I'm at 100 Devs class, so I stream right after them. So I really appreciate what 100 Devs is doing, and I try really hard not to overlap. I know Leon's, I think, about to go live with office hours in about 20 minutes, so I'm probably going to hang on long enough and then like raid into Leon's channel. So if you need to bail out, so I'm gonna actually work on the chatbot a little bit as soon as we do the giveaway. I'm gonna go into code mode, and I'm gonna like work on some code for the chatbot and show everybody how I'm gonna make like an exclamation point entries where it can show you how many monthly entries you have on the giveaway. And then once I'm finished with that and I'm satisfied that it's working okay. Oh, you don't have it today. It's Canadian Thanksgiving. That's right. So happy Turkey Day to all my hoser friends. I'm originally from Canada myself. So yeah, happy hoser day. It was back in July, but happy Canadian Thanksgiving. He's not doing office hours. Okay. Well, in that case, I won't raid into Liam. But yeah, we will find somebody to go raid. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadians friends up north. Cool. All right. Well, we never heard back from X90. Absolute last chance. Bang giveaway. Exclamation point giveaway in chat. There's 31 people in chat. I think we're up to like 16 or 17 entries. 16 entries. So there's half of you in chat don't want something for free. I mean, you're here for free advice, but you don't want other things for free. I'm shipping these around the world. Get in on the giveaway. All right, well, drop me some hype. Drop me some hype in chat, and we will do another daily giveaway. Hey, John, thanks for the giveaway. All right. So, John, you're in for 2 monthly entries as well. So every time I stream, you can combine, you can do bang giveaway, and you'll get in the daily giveaway. And that's going to give you an entry for the monthly giveaway at the end of the month. That one's going to be huge. Tony Boy, thanks for the follow as well. Get in on that giveaway. You do need to be a follower to enter the giveaway. Yeah, just go ahead and follow the channel, and then we'll get you in the giveaway. So Tony Boy, do bang giveaway for me. All these things are being collected in Airbase, which is a cloud-based database. And then my script is basically just connecting to that and doing filtering and like the equivalent of where clauses and so on. All right, so Tony's in the giveaway. All right, so we're going to do our giveaway daily. I'm about to hit enter on this in like 5 seconds. So as soon as my hand kind of gets over that enter key, 5 more seconds to get in that giveaway. Oh, we lost a couple of viewers. Just people didn't like the fact that I was pointing that out. All right, give you 5 seconds to get in that giveaway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drum roll. And our recipient is Jay Brinker. Jay Brinker with the amazing emotes. You have been chosen. You had a 1 in 18 chance. Is that Totoro playing the drums? That's a good question. That's some really great emotes, by the way. Cool. Well, Jay Brinker, so you need to tell me Star Wars, Star Trek, holiday, or toy. So which of those 4 things would you like? So we got Star Wars, and I've got things like the Millennium Falcon. I've got like TIE fighters, X-Wing fighters, I've got like this tie interceptor, which is really cool. You want the toy catapult? All right. What color would you like the toy catapult? Be creative. I got lots and lots of different colors of plastic that I can print this in. So let me know or if you want like a multicolor kind of thing. I might have some rainbow-based filaments. So the only difference is that I'll probably print out these springs in a different kind of plastic, because there's a specific type of plastic called PETG, which is more resilient for these springs than the PLA that I'll print the rest of it in if you want a different color. My choice? Well, if it's my choice, I'm gonna go for one of these really cool like sparkle colors. Give me a sec. Well, if it's my choice. So my Hello Kitty helmet that Robo Oso claimed the channel point redeem actually have this dark sparkle blue in PETG. So I'm going to make you that whole catapult out of this dark sparkly blue color just for you. So yeah. So congratulations, Jay Brinker. There are a lot of colors out there. I've literally got a cabinet of color, and I've got like boxes of filament all over the floor. So I've got a Bamboo X1C with a multicolor thing, and it's printing something quite large, multiple colors. That's going to be part of the monthly giveaway, so I'm not giving you any details on that. It's going to be really nice. It's like one of my favorite prints ever. And the multicolor is like working out brilliantly on the thing. And so I've got a second one of those coming. And so between the two of those with the multicolor, I'm going to be going through like tons and tons of plastic. And then I'm building a Voron 350 by 350 kit, and that's going to use up a ton of filament. And then I've got two Prusa Mark IIIs. So I'm going to have a lot of printers here. So I'm going to go through a lot of this plastic over the next couple of months, which is great. I have to decide between C# or PLC programming. So PLC is a programmable logic controller. I loved PLC programming back in college. From a career perspective, which one would be more stable for the future? Probably C#. And I won 3 spools of filament on DB3D Dan's channel. I did the bang drop command. I used to have drop on here. I don't know if it's still active or not. I don't think I do. I think it's on a different screen, but yeah, I did a drop and I'm like, oh, hey, 99.7 or something. He's like, you just won 3 spools of filament. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, wait, what? So yeah, I've got 3 more spools of filament from Printed Solid coming from DB3D Dan, which was fantastic. It was like such a shock and surprise. So yeah, I've got like, I'm swimming in filament over here. So that's partly why I'm building out these really big printers, so I can like use up more of this plastic where I can print like a bunch of these at the same time. So yeah, I'm going to get that catapult on the printer for you today. My goal is to get like a couple of these mailings out like over the course of the month. October is going to be really busy for me. My schedule, I need to go back and revamp the schedule over on the website as far as when I'm going to be streaming, but I'm going to have a lot of like intermediate or sort of off schedule streams. So I typically stream Sundays and Thursdays. There's one Thursday that I know I'm not going to be streaming. That's going to be the 20th, I believe is a Thursday. I won't be streaming that Thursday. I think that's the only Thursday I'm not going to stream. But otherwise, I'm going to try to stream every Sunday, every Thursday. And then I'm going to kind of add additional streams specifically for the giveaway. And then anybody that wants to donate any bits, any subs, any donations, anything along those lines, resume reviews, if you want a paid like private review, basically what I did on the stream today, I do privately in like a Zoom call with you, or I'll just record a video and like send it to you. And the $50 that I charge for that, which I'll give a caveat in a moment, that $50 also goes into that pool. And then I'm matching all of this money. So this is just money that you all have raised. So this is all the money that you are helping me earn as a streamer. And I'm matching all of that money to go into the fundraiser. So none of that money goes into my pocket. I'm 100% sending that money out. I do all this for free. I've got an email newsletter thing that you can go check out. If that button would work. There we go. So you can go subscribe to an email series, and I've got 3 email newsletters that you can subscribe to, and you can go in and you can set the pace of how frequently you want to get those messages. So you can say, I want the general newsletter like every day. I want the behavioral questions every 2 days. I want technical questions every 7 days, and it'll figure out like when to send you those next messages. So you can go subscribe to that, share that with other colleagues and so on. If you know anybody else that would be interested or have use for that content, please share that link with as many people as you can. Tweet it, put it on LinkedIn. I'm happy to have subscribers. Where was I going with all that? Oh yeah, all of this is for free. So nothing I have is behind a paywall. You don't have to register, and give me like a username or anything other than the email series. I track your email address, and that's it. I don't even ask for your name, just your email address. And as soon as all of those series are done, it ejects you out of my database. So literally, as soon as it's done, like if you go in and you say, I want to unsubscribe, or you just get to the end of the series, it auto unsubscribes you from that newsletter. And as soon as it unsubscribes you from the last newsletter, it yeets you out of the database, because I don't want to keep that data. I have no use for that data. Same thing with the giveaway. As soon as the month of October is over, I'm dropping that whole database table. So I don't want to track over time like who entered giveaways, and I don't want to keep your addresses and things like that. I need to know your mailing address. So, that's the other thing. Jay Bricker, I need you to Twitch whisper me. So send this on a Twitch whisper for me. I need your name, your shipping address, and an email address so that I can send you tracking info. So as soon as I have tracking info for you, I'll email you like a tracking code, so you know like when to expect it. And I will be marking the envelopes like do not bend, but these things are pretty flexible. I mean, it's all just flexible plastic. So I mean, if they need to bend that cardboard a little bit, that'll be fine. But like the base of this is not going to bend. So like they're not going to be able to bend that at all. But I'm going to make sure the envelopes say do not bend. And I'll be putting like a sticker label on there with your name and your address and things like that. So I need your name, your address, and your email address so that I can send you that tracking info afterwards. DB3D Dan, the man, the myth, the legend, just showed up in chat. Thank you, Dan, for showing up. I was just telling folks that I won a bunch of filament on your stream yesterday. Like completely shocked me. I'm like, wait, what? You're doing a giveaway? So congrats to you for having a sponsor for things like that for your giveaway. That's great. And I love Printed Solid. Their filaments are fantastic. One of my favorite filaments ever is a Printed Solid filament called Vanilla Bean. I think it's Vanilla Bean Ice Cream, and it's a really cool marble filament, and it's amazing. So there's that one that I really like. I've also got so my tech interview guide branding is kind of this sort of medium purple color, but it's sort of grayish purple. And I actually found a Printed Solid filament, which is kind of that shade of purple, and it's fantastic. What else do I like from Printed Solid? They had like this mixtape series that they were doing as part of their subscription thing, where there's like this incredibly dark purple. It almost looks black unless you look up at it real close, and then you realize it's actually a purple color. And then they had like this cool mustard yellow sort of colors. They've got some really neat colors in their palette for sure. But yeah, thanks for coming by. And Stone Monkey Research, good to see you as well. So y'all just missed the giveaway, but if you want to do Bang Giveaway, you can still get in on the monthly giveaway. So I'm going to be tracking those all month long. So I was explaining, I normally stream Sundays and Thursdays. I'm going to be doing some off schedule streams just specifically for the giveaway. And I'll do my best to like keep some of those up. Even with some business travel, I'll probably do some short streams. So you're gonna like need to follow and turn on that notification bell that you know when to drop by and do the Bang giveaway. Bretzilas? Can I just call you Law? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your username. Not really a question, but I finally switched my career a little bit. Got into finance tech with Python, and I can develop myself further. Got a junior job within finance data analyst with an option to automate things with Python. Sweet. Love automation. That's great. That's a step closer to becoming a data engineer. What do you think? I think it's freaking fantastic. A, that you switched your career. B, you got yourself a job. And C, you've got a career path. I think that's amazing. That's fantastic. I love that. And first time chat. So appreciate you coming by and sharing that news. I would say automation in Python is a really, really cool thing to do. Like I automate a ton of stuff around here with Python, and what I'm trying to automate are things like when you follow and raid and things like that, that these lights behind me will blink, but apparently that broke. Sometimes the automation doesn't always work, but like the the chatbot, which I'm about to go into and show like how I do like the giveaways and things like that, and how I interact with chat, that's all part of automation. So that stuff's really cool, and I love the idea of data analysis and just what kind of story does this data tell me. I actually gave a talk in Vegas last Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but last Tuesday. Was it this Tuesday? It was this Tuesday. What day is it even? It was this past Tuesday. So less than a week ago, I was in Vegas and I actually gave a talk about some data that we collected for the company that I work at, and kind of the story that it tells me. It wasn't necessarily the story that we tell as a company, but like this is what it tells me. And I thought it was pretty interesting to kind of dive into data and realize what it is that the data is telling you. I think that it's important as a data analyst to let the data tell you the story instead of trying to tell a story and making the data fit to tell the story. So like looking at the data and go, oh, based on this demographic data, this is actually what we're seeing, as opposed to we want to tell a story about this side of the demography or whatever of our area. Let's go find some data to support the story. You want the story to tell, or you want the data to tell the story, not support the story. That's my thought on it anyway. Cool. Let's go over to code mode. So here's my giveaway code. So this is what I've been building. So this is the whole like, I think this is the old giveaway code. Yeah, this is the old giveaway. All previous entries have been discarded. So that was the old giveaway code that I made. So let me close that up. That's not the one I'm going to be working on. There's my lurk command. Static responses. That's if you do like bang hello or bang LinkedIn and things like that. It'll give you like static responses. So this is where I want to build my entries command here. This is the new giveaway code here. So it's basically connecting to my Airtable. And it doesn't matter that you see the name of the table because you can't see my API key. But this is basically how Airtable connects to like the actual table where I'm storing the entries. And then this is where I'm going through and kind of building up those stats. So when I do bang giveaway, it's kind of calculating these stats. And then I have the choice between doing a monthly giveaway or the daily giveaway. And I'm just doing a little timer sleep in here just for the sake of randomness while I play a little drum roll sound or whatever, and then tells us who we selected. Otherwise, everybody else that comes in basically goes through and figures out whether you already have an entry or not, like you've already entered the giveaway or not, or you must be following and so on. So I'm checking to see whether you're a follower of the channel. Otherwise, I'm basically just tracking in the database table, like for the date that I'm streaming. Have we already chosen a recipient? Again, I shouldn't be calling it winner. But have we already chosen the recipient for the day? Which reminds me, I need to actually go mark that in the database. Let me go do that real quick before I forget. So the giveaway, and that was for Jay Brinker. So Jay Brinker was the recipient, and they responded, and they wanted a catapult in dark sparkle blue PETG. Cool. So again, Jay Brinker, send me your address and your email, and I will get that built for you and sent out soon. Yeah. So thanks for the follow. Definitely gonna stay a little longer. Right. Am I able to import any of this code? So all of this code is handwritten. I've got like hundreds and hundreds of lines of code that I've written specifically for my chatbot. So these are the routines that you see the chatbot like spam like ridiculous amounts, where I need to go in and I need to like tweak some of these minutes or have it like rotate, like, when it's time to randomly, pick a message or something, like randomly pick like either a registration or, if you want to be on the stream, kind of thing, instead of just spamming like 5 messages at a time. Okay, Jay Brinker, DM me. Awesome. Thank you. Anyway, so back to the giveaway. So this is basically where it's saying like, do you already have entries or not? So what I want to do in here is I want to say like, how many entries does somebody have? So a couple things that we need to do to kind of set things up here is I need to know the channel that we're listening to. In this case, it's my stream channel, but then I need to know who you are as a user, like who's actually calling this command. I need to know the current, actually, I don't need to know the current stream. So I have this chatbot running all the time, and so I want people to be able to come by at any time and do bang entries. So I don't need to be streaming live, because right now this says like, hey, you can't do bang giveaway unless I'm streaming. So that's not going to be a consideration here, because you're going to be able to do this entries command whether or not I'm streaming. So I'm going to just collapse some of that code. So we don't have to worry about the stream being online, but I do need to connect to that Airtable table. And then this is basically saying like, is this me? So is this the broadcaster? And I do have Google Copilot installed and running. So as soon as I start typing commands, it's like, did you mean this? So this allows me to do like multi-word commands. So it's just splitting the command based on a space. So when I do bang giveaway daily, it says, okay, well, go split it on the space. So I see bang giveaway and I see daily as the two different words. And so that's where it's saying, okay, if the word was monthly or the word was daily, then go do these things. But if I only typed in a single word, then just go calculate those stats. But I'm not going to be doing this part. So I'm actually going to collapse the whole broadcaster part because I really only care about what you all are doing on these. So what we need to do here is figure out how many entries do you have? So that's what we're going to do here. So we're basically going to go just copy this code and we're going to plunk it in up here. Did I just lose my internet connection? Hey folks, let me know if you can still see or hear me in chat. I'm getting notified by OBS that I'm disconnected. It says I'm offline. I'm going to keep working here, but you can hear me? Okay, weird. OBS says I'm totally offline. It says I have 0 viewers. Oh, now it says I'm live again. Weird. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Wait, now I can't? All right, well, we'll give it a second here and see if we can figure out what's going on. I'm just going to keep working on this. So you can hear me, but now you can't. It says I'm reconnected, but I have 0 viewers. So if you're still hanging out, let me know. Let me know in chat if you're still there. I'm gonna basically keep working on the code either way. This will end up in the recording and up on YouTube. So what I want to do here is basically count your entries for who you are as a user. Okay, so everybody's still here. All right. I was curious whether I was still here. Because it said that I dropped off, like I lost my my internet connection or something. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, for the October table in the database, I want to go look up all of your Twitch user IDs. So because a user can change their username on Twitch, I'm tracking everything in the database on your user ID from Twitch. So everybody has a numeric ID and then your username. And so that allows you to change your username, but everybody still is connected to you. So it's not like if you change your username, you lose all your connections and friends and whatever, and you have to start all over again. And so I'm tracking everything in the database based on your user ID. So what this is saying is, okay, go look in that table, and then based on your user ID, go fetch everything where that Twitch user ID matches you, and then go count the records. And so I'm checking to see whether you've already entered the giveaway, but I'm not checking to see whether you've already entered today's giveaway. I just want to know the total number of entries that you have. And then we want to send a message saying, username, you have this many entries for the monthly giveaway. Good luck. And then we will return. Actually, I don't need to do a return. That's kind of implicit in Python. Cool. So I think we're going to have an entries command. Let me go restart the bot. If this reconnects okay, then we can try and do bang entries. So do me a favor. Type !entries in chat. It won't work. Well, I could probably type it, and it should tell me I have 0 entries. So time reveal has 0 entries. I have 0 entries, but Tangible Studio, you have entries. So time reveal, do bang giveaway for me. Time reveal, do bang giveaway, and then bang entries again. It should tell you that you've got 1 entry. So JBrinker's got 2 entries. Okay, so it's working for some folks. So no, just !giveaway. Exclamation point in programming language, we call it the bang operator. It's an old Linux thing. Okay, so now you've got an entry for the daily one. We already did the giveaway for today. So you've been entered in the giveaway, but the daily recipient's already been chosen. Yep. So now time reveal, if you do bang entries, it should show you that you've got 1 entry. All right, there we go. Sweet. So it looks like it's working. So that was easy. Cool. What other kind of chat command should I build? I kind of want to do like a fortune cookie kind of thing. But yeah, if anybody's got ideas for like chat commands and stuff like that that you'd like to see me build in, let me know. I'm happy to add other fun stuff in here. I'm also happy to just show other stuff that goes on. So this just automatically sort of happens. So the way that this particular library works is I do this line of code before I define the method. And this bot command basically is what we call a decorator in Python. And that basically says, you know, it's like a reusable bit of code that wraps around all of this other code. And so if you do bang commands, that one should show up now in the list. Or is it bang help? It's bang help, sorry, not bang commands. So we should see, we don't see entries show up in there. I thought it would have added that one automatically. I guess I need to manually add that one. Random trivia questions. So there's a channel point redeem for like answering a silly question. No video but chat runs. Okay. It looks like time reveal is also listening on audio only. Yeah, let me know whether the video is working. It says I'm back online. It says I'm streaming okay, but yeah, I just had a weird hiccup in the internet traffic here at home for a minute. Video is working. Okay, cool. Which is interesting because time reveal, my chat shows me that you're just audio only. So we had to reload the stream. Okay, weird. Sorry about that, folks. That would explain why my viewers dropped off back to 0, but I appreciate y'all reconnecting. So let me show some of the other stuff that I have in here. So I've got this whole thing called static responses or static content. And so funny greetings is basically if you do !hello, you're going to get one of these as your greeting. So just do !hello or bang hello. It's just a chat icon. Oh, you picked it for fun. Okay, I got you. So do !hello in chat. There you go. So you get the howdy, howdy, howdy. Howdy doody. There we go. So that's that one. The nanoleaf one is basically, if you just do bang nanoleaf, it's going to go through and it's going to look at this list of effects that I'm allowing people to set with the nanoleaf channel point redemption. And then there's also code in here that says like, go make them blink and so on. So there's a channel point redemption to make them blink. And then there's some code in here to like randomly go build a red, green, blue, like random color. And that's used for the blink. So basically as it blinks all the panels different colors. But this is basically just the static response of like, go get the list of effects that I want to allow people to set it to. So now that you see that list in chat, then you can do a channel point redeem saying, go set the nanoleaf panels to this particular color. Like I want to set it to Boba Fett, or I want to set it to retro future kind of thing. So that's that one. Silly questions. This one, I don't know. Yeah, this one does work. This is also a channel point redeem, which should be like a go answer a silly question kind of thing. Let me go see how I actually pull that one up in the code though, because I forget how I actually call this one. So there's a channel point redeem for a rapid fire question, and it should redeem for a silly question. Maybe dad jokes about coding. If you do bang joke, it will give you a dad joke. But if I do a silly question, so I just did a channel point redeem, and you see up in here in chat, it says, what's something that you recently realized that you're embarrassed you didn't realize earlier? So one thing that I didn't realize is like every time you drive a car and you're like, which side is the gas tank thing on? If you look at the little gas tank icon, there's a little arrow pointing one side or the other, and that's pointing to the side of the vehicle where the gas tank opener thing is. That's like something I didn't realize till I was 40, and I've been driving forever, and I'm like, I always, you know, get in a new car, and one of the first things is like, what side is the gas tank on? So, yeah. Yeah, that's so that's that static response. And then what are my other static responses here? Oh, and then just the static responses. So these are things like if I hit my Stream Deck for bang anon, it's basically like just echoing this thing out. Resume review or resume research. So if you do bang research, it'll say here's a spreadsheet about how to do company research. IIO or interviewing IO, it'll give you my referral code for interviewing.io. If you want to listen to just the audio version of the podcast where I do like the question and answer snippets, I put those up on an audio podcast. Socials, you know, here's my LinkedIn and Twitter. So when I hit that button, it'll give you that. Or if I just say, you know, bang YouTube, it'll give you my YouTube channel. I am hoping for more subscribers on YouTube. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers. And at 1,000 subscribers, it unlocks some other stuff for me at YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that for me. If you just want to go check that out and subscribe over there, I'd appreciate it. This is the introductions or the intros one. This is what I was talking about earlier on the stream about how to use my network on LinkedIn to help grow your network and ask me to make introductions for you. Here's our Discord community. Here's my financial transparency thing, my email newsletters, some specific videos that I made about leak code. Bang Dragons, that was our giveaway back in May. Donate any donations, I match, you know, stuff like that. And then don't sub. This is a new one that I recently added where it's like, you know, I would prefer that you donate or use bits instead of subscribing. Specifically because I only get like 50% of the sub money. And so I want to make as much impact as I can on that diversity in tech fundraiser. And that's why I asked specifically, like, if you can donate or cheer bits or something like that, that's better for the overall fundraiser than subbing. Because with subbing, I have to wait a month to get that money. Where the donations, because they go through PayPal, I get that in the account right away. So I can kind of set that money aside right away and then add to it. And all that money is just sitting in an account, and then it's going to get sent out at the end of the year. That was the old registration one, and then, yeah, we don't have a guest today, so I'll comment that one out. But this is basically how I do bang guest on here. I'm going to go do that. So, like, if you try to do bang guest right now, for example, it should say that we have no guest today. What I would like to do is I would like to actually make this an Airtable lookup. So if I'm scheduled to have a guest on the stream, that this bang guest will actually be a go dynamically look up in Airtable, like who is the guest, what links do I want to share or whatever. So when you do bang guest, it'll like give you their info. I understand that money thing good. Nice to see. I had an anon last night that did too. Oh really? You had an anonymous thing? But yeah, anonymous is good. Donating anonymously is kind of fun sometimes. So that's my static responses. So yeah, these are just different things that I build in. This is the Gubby lights. So these are some of the lights that I have kind of that you see above the desk. Let me go back over to the screen. So I've got one kind of above the desk that's yellow right now, and there's one up on the ceiling that you can't easily see from here. If I go over to the just me view, you don't see much more than that. But if we set the, if I change these, let's see if this works. If I set this to the Batman, it should change the Guppy lights to red. Yeah, there we go. So that works now. So notice this one turned red. The one up on the ceiling also turned red, I promise. You just can't see it because if I change my desk to be a standing desk, then you'll see more of the panels. Like you'll see all 4 layers of the nanoleaf lights. Right now you only see 2 layers. I can't really tip the camera. Well, kind of tip the camera. So there's a whole bunch more of them up there as well. And then it also changed that Guppy light up there to be red as well. And then that picture right there is Babe Ross. So if anybody follows Babe Ross on Twitch, this is one of her paintings. This is the very first abstract painting she ever made. And then she had an auction on her stream. I think when she hit like 2,000 followers, she did like an auction. And so I got another one of her paintings, and that's hanging up on a wall over here. So yeah, so that's my chatbot code. Happy to be transparent about what I built and how I built it and things like that. I don't really open source it because I do have like API keys and stuff in there that I don't want to share. But if anybody's ever curious about looking at the code, I'm happy to walk through portions of the code and show people how I built things out. I like to be really transparent about what I do, especially with the giveaway stuff, to show like I'm not influencing the giveaway. Now on the big giveaway that we did back in August, I did influence the giveaway based on how long you've been following me. And so I basically said the longer that you've been following me, the more entries you get into the giveaway. And so it was meant to reward people that have been around the channel for a long, long time, and not just people that show up the day of the giveaway and go, I want to win a prize. So they would still get an entry, but if you follow me for a year, you got 300 entries, and so you had a 300 times better chance of being chosen than the person that just showed up the day of. The logos on the lights are gone. Yes, they were getting a little hard to maintain and like constantly taking on and off because I was doing a bunch of recording for work. And whenever I record for work, I have to take everything off the desk and everything off the lights and whatever. So initially what I was doing is if you were subscribing to the channel, I was 3D printing a logo and hanging that on the light for you. But it got a little tough to maintain because not everybody does a recurring subscription, which is fine. I get it. With the economy and stuff like that, like subscriptions are not going to be as easily a thing, and I get it. But it was also a little bit hard to maintain as far as like what logo do you want, and how do I print it, and how do I make it look, and then have to take the stuff off and put it back on. Every time I record for work, the screen back here has my employer's logo, and I'd have to take all the stuff off the wall and clean off the desk and everything. I'm like, that's a lot of work. And so I decided I was just not going to do that. And so what I have instead is occasionally over in chat over on this side, you'll see an occasional like, hey, Ian also follows this streamer, or thanks for being a subscriber, and it'll actually call out my subscribers. So what it's doing is it's actually randomly going through every couple of minutes, and then it's picking one of those topics of, do I do a shout out to a fellow streamer? Do I do a shout out to a subscriber? Do I shout out to just one of my VIPs? And then it prints that message over there. And so it's waiting an amount of time, and then it randomly picks one of those 3 categories, and then it randomly picks somebody that I've added to that category. And so I've got I have this thing called an RSO command, where if I do like an RSO, actually let me do an RSO check. And so I have tech, friends, and subscriber. So for example, friends are like VIPs and so on. And so I could do something like, I want to do a recurring shout out of friends for Robo-Oso, for example. And it'll immediately give a shout out, but now it's going to add Robo-Oso to the recurring category of friends. So whenever my automated thing shows up and says, go randomly pick a friend to shout out, Robo-Oso is going to be in that rotation. So it's a way for me to kind of go through and say, okay, who's subscribed to my channel? Let me add them to that list. I would love to automate that a little bit. So I need to go into like StreamerBot and see like when somebody actually subscribes to the channel, how do I add them to that list kind of automatically? Because right now it's a very manual thing. And it's also a manual that if you unsubscribe or you don't renew your subscription, I've got to manually take you out of that list. So I would love for a way to sort of automate, like, you know, on a daily basis, go get my list of subscribers, make sure that they're all in there. And if there's somebody in there that's no longer a subscriber, take them out of that list. Because it'll actually give you a call out and say, like, you know, thank you for subscribing because you're contributing to the diversity in tech fundraiser. And yeah, it is pretty quick. I mean, I write this stuff to be, you know, relatively performant, but a lot of it is Twitch. Like, as soon as I write that code or write that instruction and send it to Twitch, Twitch interacts with it right away. And it's all built on Amazon, so their stuff is really, really fast. So yeah, like the little reminder thing here, like, you know, go get in the October giveaway and things like that. Those are all automated things through the chatbot. So when I first started streaming a year and a half ago, I was using Stream Elements like everybody was. And one of the things that I wanted to do was a bang resume command for resume reviews. But Stream Elements would, they had a command hook in there to start or stop playing music. And bang resume was actually their resume command to continue playing music. So if you pause the music or stop the music, you could resume playing the music. And so I wanted to do bang resume to say, hey, if you want a resume review, but every time people would type bang resume, it would see my automated message, but it would also play the Stream Elements automated message of like, there's no song currently in the queue or something like that. And it was kind of annoying. So it was things like that that I wanted to like get away from using Stream Elements. Plus, I think that their giveaway bot is highly influenced by things that we can't see because they're not very transparent about how their giveaway bot works. My experience with the Stream Elements giveaway bot is that if you win something on a Stream Elements giveaway that somebody else sets up, you need to go around to every other channel you possibly can that's doing a giveaway and get in their giveaway, because chances are pretty good you're going to win a whole bunch all at once. I got in a giveaway and I started winning, like I won like the 3D Gloop stuff on Loyal Moses' channel, which I'm still waiting for him to ship me. I won a bottle of Gloop on his channel, and then I went over to somebody else's channel and I won something, and I went over to Polymaker's channel and I won a spool of filament there, and I went over to some other channel and I won something. Like I won 4 things in a row, all from Stream Elements. And I hadn't won anything. Like I'm constantly going into people's channels and entering giveaways. I hadn't won anything for like 6 months. And then suddenly I win a whole bunch of things all at once. And ever since then, I haven't won a thing. And so I think that they've got something in there, like how frequently has this person won? Let's let them win again, or whatever. Like, or how engaged are they in that channel, and let them win because they're really engaged or they're here all the time. Like, I don't know how they influence their recipient or their winner, but there's definitely something going on where they're influencing it and they're not transparent about it. So I wanted to write my own giveaway bot where I actually show people, this is the code. It's using the Python random library. This is how it works. This is how I'm putting all your entries into an array, and it's randomly picking out of that array. Like I'm super transparent about what I build because I want people to know if or when I'm influencing a giveaway. Now this giveaway in October, I'm not influencing whatsoever. Every time you do bang giveaway, you're getting a daily entry. It's giving you an entry into the monthly giveaway. I'm not influencing that in any way. The one that I did in August, I influenced on purpose, and I walked through the code. This is what I'm influencing. This is why, and this is how. And I went through like bit by bit. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm doing it. And I walked through the code. You know, I spent like an hour just going through that code with everybody because I wanted to be transparent about it. Now, so I don't know for sure that Stream Elements is doing that, but that's my suspicion because I'm doing giveaway entries several times a week, and I didn't win anything for months and months and months, and then suddenly I win 4 things in a row, like within 2 or 3 days. I was in a whole bunch of giveaways and I won 4 things within the span of a couple of days on different channels. It wasn't all in the same channel, but on different channels within a small amount of time, suddenly I kept winning. So that tells me that's influenced somehow. Like that can't be purely random. Like it's got to be influenced in some way. So, Creative Bear, good to see you. I've won twice in the past week on 2 separate channels, but nothing for months before that. Yeah. So again, I don't know for sure. Robosa says, I've been thinking about streaming sometime. I'd like it to be on a regular schedule. I can't do that just yet. Yeah, I think infrequent is okay too. As you build up your audience, you know, you'll sort of figure out like what feels best for you. When I first started streaming, I'm like, I'm going to stream 3 days a week. And a friend of mine's like, that might be a bit much. You might burn out. You might run out of things to talk about, maybe twice a week. So I've been doing twice a week for 1.5 years. And some weeks I'm like, yeah, I feel like doing an extra stream. Or some weeks I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to take a day off. You know, as you build up your community's going to understand. As long as you let them know ahead of time that they're not like sitting around waiting going, it's Sunday, where's Ian? Why isn't he streaming? So that's why I made a whole schedule on the website that people can go see, because I don't want to keep the Twitch schedule up to date as much. So Twitch just says I'm streaming every Sunday and Thursday, but like I think I've got a note on there like go check out the website to actually see the stream schedule and like who I'm going to have on the stream and stuff like that. You'd like to see the code too for Stream Elements? I would. It'd be interesting to see the code behind the Stream Elements software random generator. Yeah, it would be nice if they would do the transparency around it. But yeah, just not something they want to do, which is fine. I mean, that's their prerogative. They're a business and they're doing things their way. You know, we can't force people to show code unless there was like a huge community outcry of like, hey, this is clearly influenced, like y'all are clearly doing something. Then I think there's you know, probably some pressure we could put on them, but I think for the most part, like they're not going to do anything about it. They're not gonna show what they do, because they don't, you know, especially if they are influencing it in some way, they absolutely don't want to like put that online. That would be really bad for them for sure. Is there a way that I could see all the friends you follow without it blowing up in your chat? So all the people that I follow? Yeah. Well, so all of the people that I follow are all the people that I put on my rotation, because it's a very different list. Like I can clip this, for example, and just paste this in chat. So this is the array of the people when I say like who's on the recurring shout out. Now we just added Robo Oso to this list, but these are people that are like routinely coming up as like, hey, Ian watches these channels, or these are friends of Ian, like go give them a follow. Doesn't necessarily mean they stream. Like Career Therapy is Martin McGovern. We had him on the stream a couple of times a year ago. I don't think he streams on Twitch on a regular basis. Amish Ace streams a couple of times a week. Emmy Law Music, we're actually going to go see her do a live concert pretty soon. X90's in the list. Loyal Moses, I do hang out there. Zombie Hedgehog streams. Carmen was a part of a live stream called The Jonan Show, but Jonan hasn't streamed in a while. Coding More was also on that channel, and so is Danny T Codes. GG Bav, he drops by the channel from time to time. He's a live streamer. He does a lot of gaming. Hummus on Rails is Ben. He used to work at New Relic. I think he's somewhere else now. I think he's still at New Relic. I forget. No, he's not at... I think he left New Relic. But he's really big in the Ruby on Rails community and does a lot of stuff. Melly Rurus is on a bunch of channels. RC Maniac is one of our VIPs, and so is Zooey here in the channel. So everybody that I'd flagged as a VIP should be on that list of friends. And then the tech channels that I regularly watch. So this list is a lot bigger. Of course, my camera decided to fail right then. This list is too big to show, so I will trim it down some. But this is a list of channels that I watch. So these are channels that I follow that, you know, if I'm working or if I'm just, you know, working on Lego or building my printer or whatever, I've probably got one of these channels on. And the Ian the Postmanaut, that's my work account. Want to go follow me over there. I do stream occasionally for work. And then my list of subscribers, I have to go in and manually download a list from Twitch and parse through that and figure out like who's on there. But yeah, those are the channels that I like to watch. And there's good things about all of these. Like Tiff Bites, we've had Tiffany on the stream. Jen Develops, we did an interview with Jen Develops. Generic Mike Chen, I think I had Mike on a stream. I forget. Finite Singularity, I mean, I think pretty much everybody here is going to know Finite. I don't want to make assumptions, but Finite's got a really great channel. Epicat, Streams. Creative Null hasn't streamed in a while, but has been by the stream a lot. Was a big supporter last year. Chrissy Codes streams a couple of nights a week. J Phils, KJ Miller, Lady of Code, like all these folks are all like live coders. We got Midnight Simon in there, Nikki T online. I've been on live streams with Nick. Purple Elf is great to go hang out with and just be part of their thing. UK Meds. We had Mike Elsmore on the stream a while back. Techie Girl, really appreciate Techie Girl and like what they do on their stream. Like just helping out with code, but also just the gaming side. Like watching Techie Girl play Tetris or the Splatoon is like really entertaining. So those are the folks that I appreciate, like just hanging out in their channel and just watching and lurking and stuff like that. So Thindal raiding with a party of 7. Hello, Thindal and Raiders. Welcome by. I'm Ian Douglas. I'm the author of this website, techinterview.guide. I usually help people out with interview prep and career advancement kind of stuff. I was going through, I had intended to go through our Discord community and just answer a bunch of anonymous questions, and the community kind of came through with their own questions. So am I a C# developer? I don't see very sharp. I have glasses. I'm a big fan of dad jokes. I have done a little bit of C#. I'm mostly a Python developer. I do mostly backend. I've dabbled in C#. I'm not a strong C# developer. I would have a hard time like starting a C# project from scratch. But if I see some C# code, I can identify that looks like C#, and I can tinker with it and I can hack on it a little bit. That's about as far as my knowledge goes there. It is something that I want to learn though. I do want to get into C#. But yeah, thanks for coming by, Thindal. Appreciate that. Thindal, everybody go give Thindal a follow. Thindal, what was your stream about today? You started a new contract last week. I had 0 tech interviews. That's great. That's the best way to go. Not having any interviews at all. That's fantastic. Recommend it too. Yep. Yeah. C# is a pretty good language. Part of why I want to get into that is because I've been tinkering with StreamerBot, and they've got a block in there where you can actually custom write your own C# code to do things. So like, making the Nanoleaf things blink right now, it goes through Twitch into StreamerBot, which then calls my Python code to make these blink. And so I've got StreamerBot running. I've got a Python bot watching for that to connect to then actually go call the Python code that makes my lights blink. Or I can just reach over and hit a button on my Stream Deck, and that also makes them blink, but apparently also breaks my camera. So again, I got some USB issues going on with my system. I need to like tear it all down and like rebuild it. But so I want to learn C# though, so that I can do the Nanoleaf stuff right in StreamerBot. And there goes my camera again. Let's try that. The interview is exactly the way I want it. Who are you? What do you enjoy doing? Can we see ourselves wanting to work with you? That's fantastic. That's great. Yeah, you were trying to learn Blazor. Oh, sweet. That's the .NET framework. Yeah. Hakoban, please, could you ask some tricky questions for thinking background? Could you give me a little more context on that? Not sure what you're asking there, Hako. And some more general questions about style and experience, but no code puzzles. That's great. That's what the interview process should be. Honestly, it really should be like show us a demonstration of what you're going to be doing at the job, and not this leak code stuff of like go reverse a linked list and whatever. It's like I've never had to do that on the job. Like, yes, I can demonstrate that for you, but how is that going to help me on a day-to-day basis here? If it's just the algorithmic thinking that you need, like, okay, I'll break down that algorithm for you. But if you're trying to like figure out like, can I go call an API and like manipulate some results and like go extract some data for you and like get it in a database or something, then yeah, let me demonstrate that for you. Like that's a more practical, like day-to-day kind of application of what I do as a developer. Green Hornet, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. So yeah, so I gotta fix my StreamerBot. I gotta fix my camera. I gotta like go unplug a bunch of stuff. One of my monitors stopped working, so I got some new HDMI cables and DisplayPort cables that I need to fix. and see if that's going to fix things. But then I also need to figure out like how do I chain all these things together, because all my little lights, I've got these little Logitech lights. They're all like plugged into a USB hub, which is plugged into a hub, which is plugged into a hub, which is plugged into an extension cord to get to my PC that's like 3 feet away. So yeah, I just need to reorganize this whole desk. I want to get like one bigger screen and like push that back a little bit and like run cables a little bit more cleanly. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. And I also want to reposition the lights a little bit, because as I move my hands around, it kind of like throws a bunch of shadow on my face. And like depending on which lights, like if I cover up the lights that are yellow, then it makes my face look blue, and if I cover these ones up, it makes my face a little more orange. So I want to balance out my lights a little bit. Devilbird helped Loyal Moses with that on his channel, and Devilbird has offered to help me out as well. So I gotta connect with Devilbird this week and see if I can get some of that. If you lack knowledge, Google it. Yeah, for sure. Stack Overflow driven development. So I've heard that called full Stack Overflow developer. So not just a full stack developer, I'm a full Stack Overflow developer. What if I need to Google at a tech interview? I think it's okay for the most part. I think there are a few fundamentals that you should probably know, like, you know how to do some basics, like you know how to iterate over an array, you know how to like get values in and out of a hash, or iterate over a set of hash keys or something like that. Those things should be practiced enough that you can just do those at an interview. But if I say like, hey, how do you build a decorator in Python? It's like, I would have to go look that up. I've done it a bunch. I would have to go look it up. It's like, can I like follow a bit of a framework to like go see how to do that? Because I'm not going to be able to do that from scratch. But like, what we might consider like common everyday sorts of things to do in our language, I think would be really good things to have practiced for an interview. But you certainly don't have to memorize everything. But I think that that's kind of the fallacy that a lot of interviewers fall into. And there was actually a really interesting Twitter thread recently where somebody who was an interviewer called somebody out for doing poorly at an interview. This just happened like over the last day or two. And they're like, yeah, I just interviewed this senior dev and they didn't know how to close an input tag in HTML. And so, didn't hire them, and was like really berating them on Linux, and like multi-thread message on like what a lousy developer they were, and like all the different things they tried and how they got really hung up on things, and they wanted to use a framework and the interviewer told them no. And so they didn't know how to do it by hand, and just really berating them on Twitter. And like tons of people responding going, yeah, if you ever want an example of like a bad interviewer, like this person is it. Or if you ever want to, spot the kind of company where you don't want to work, this would be the company where you don't want to work. Because it's one thing to like fail an interview. It's another thing to have your interviewer like call you out in public on Twitter, not by name, but like, yeah, I just, interviewed this senior dev that did horribly at this thing, and let me tell you all about it. Like, that person needs to lose their job, honestly. Like, it was such a foolish, irresponsible thing to do. So yeah, you don't have to memorize absolutely everything. Now, seeing Fool Snable like had things like Google, like GitHub Copilot. I'm a fan of Copilot. I like it. It's got its time and its place, and as long as I know that it's scanning through my repos and things like that to find helpful code of things that I've done in the past, to redo those things, and fine, that's totally okay with me. But knowing that it's also going out and scraping like other people's repos and like looking for ideas and hints and things like that makes me a little uneasy. But if I was interviewing, I'd be turning Copilot off. I don't want Copilot like automating all this stuff, even though that is how I would typically work on a day-to-day basis, but not for work. If I was actually like, when I do coding for work, I don't use Copilot, because my employer needs to know that I am authoring 100% of the code that I write, and 100% of the work that I complete is 100% mine, and not like, oh, well, maybe this portion came from this and maybe a portion of that came from there. Because we have strict like open source licensing that we use, and we have strict responsibilities that we have over the language that we use as we write things. And so having the right kinds of tools is fine. But when I code for myself, yeah, I turn Google Copilot on. I love it. I think it's a great tool. I pay for it. It's a great thing. I'm a big fan of like paying for the tools that you use. So I pay for GitHub, I pay for Copilot, all that kind of stuff. Alu the Crow, thanks for the follow. As an interviewer myself, I hate coding tests. Yeah, I agree. I think having a good interview process where you say like, hey, this is indicative of what you're going to do on the job. So let's come up with something kind of interesting to do where you're showing me those fundamentals. Like, we need somebody who knows about authentication. So let's talk about how you would build auth and how you'd build authorization. Like, once you're logged in, what are you allowed to do? Like, talk me through that. Show me how you would build that. How would you design that in a database table to, come up with like a granular set of flags for permissions to access different parts of a website or something like that. That's a far more interesting problem than, go find the nth, closest points on a map or something. Like, heap problems and sliding window problems and two-pointer problems. Like, it's good from an algorithmic thinking point of view to keep your mind sharp around how to think in an algorithmic way, but it's not as helpful for the day-to-day job as you might think. How do you identify an interview cheating or not during a remote interview with a switched off video camera? That's a little bit harder. It's honestly not something that I've had to deal with recently. I have been doing some interviews for work, but it's mostly been conversation because my portion of that interview process is not on the technical side from a show me that you can code point of view. So I'm a developer advocate for a company called Postman. And the interviews that we're doing right now are for another developer advocate who knows Postman. And so I'm asking questions about like, how do you use Postman? How have you used Postman? How would you describe how to do such and such within the product? And just really diving in on like, what's their technical knowledge about our product? And then talking about their background and how they blog and how they create content and so on. So that's the stuff that I do now. When I was a hiring manager, I did a couple of remote interviews where it would typically be like a phone conversation, occasionally over Zoom, something like that, where I would get to see the person. And I would usually ask like, hey, can you just turn your camera on just for a sec, just so I can meet you, just to see what you look like and so on. And then, like we would start the call and be like, hey, if you're more comfortable with the camera off, that's cool. Like you can shut your camera off. But I've got a pretty good memory for voice and stuff like that. So if I call them later on and be like, that doesn't sound like you, then that would start to raise suspicions. But it is a thing. Like we were just talking with Esteban the other day when we had Esteban on the stream on Thursday. Was talking about deep fake interviews where you get a friend to do the interview for you and you get the job offer and then you show up at the job instead. Like as a hiring manager, like whether or not I got to meet you as part of the process, but now you're somebody totally different and I see you can't do the job, I'm going to give you a very limited amount of time. It's like, how did you get through our interview process and you can't do the job? Like, how did that happen? And I would be examining that process pretty rigorously. I would let it happen like once at most. And then I would throw everybody into suspicion at that point. I would be changing my interview process. When is gRPC support and Postman going to be done? It's done. It's out. I wrote a whole blog post on gRPC. RNKZ54, appreciate the follow as well. Thanks for dropping by. Why am I being asked to create an algorithm to reverse a string of arbitrary size when I can just use string reverse? I mean, again, a lot of it is just the algorithmic thinking of like, do you understand how to access different parts of an array and like, can you do it in line? Because a lot of, well, depending on the language that you use, .reverse might make a whole new array of the same size and like manually copy those things over, or it might do a two-pointer kind of thing and like, is it reversing it in place or is it still making another copy and like reversing that, or like doing a two-pointer thing and like putting it into a copy and then garbage collecting the old one? Understanding how and why that happens has an impact on performance. So knowing like, can you reverse a string in place as opposed to making a copy and reversing that? So like how you think about memory use and time complexities and things like that. It's good to have an idea of like what you understand to know like what to do and when. But I don't necessarily know that in the interview is the right place for some of that. I get why in the tech interview in the tech industry, why we have to demonstrate our skill. But I think how we demonstrate our skill and what we are asked to demonstrate I think needs to be in line with what we do on the job. Need to download the latest version of Postman? Yeah. So Postman version 10. I think there's still a waiting list on the sign up for that, but full gRPC support. It's out of beta. We do automatic mock servers for it. The testing is a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a live stream this Thursday with Joyce, all about gRPC. So come by and hang out for that. How does it work to examine a protobuf message if you don't have the schema? If the server does server reflection, then you can get the schema. If it doesn't do that, then you just kind of have to unpack the message yourself. But usually as part of like sending the message over, you're going to see the structure of it anyway. And within Postman, you can say like, you can tell it like, just go grab all the messages. Like if it's a streamed call, because you've got the unary, you've got the client stream, server stream, and you've got the bidirectional stream. So depending on what kind of endpoint you're getting, you're going to get some amount of information from the server about the structure of the data. And then you can figure out in your testing from there, like how do you go through and pick the message part. Green Hornet first time chat. What are your best tips for first timers trying to break into tech and landing their first career? That's why my whole channel exists. So my best tip is come hang out on the channel. Trying to break into tech. So my question there would be, are you already learning programming, or are you asking like, how do I learn programming so I can get into the tech industry? Because those are very different things. I can kind of give advice on some of that either way. Whenever you're trying to learn a technology, I generally recommend find a very structured set of curriculum to follow. So you've got like, you know, a clear path that you want to follow for learning that curriculum. And then from there, figure out where you want to sort of take your career. Like, what are you interested in doing? So when you're talking about like, how do you land your first career? Well, that depends a lot on what you want to do. And there's a lot of different kinds of jobs in the tech industry. And if you say, well, I want to do programming, well, what kind of programming? Do you want to do front end? Do you want to do middleware? Do you want to do back end? Do you want to do systems? Do you want to do database? Do you want to do machine learning? Do you want to do VR? Do you want to do mobile? There's lots of different kinds of programming. And so honing in a little bit more on like, what kind of programming do you want to do? What kind of company, what kind of industry are you interested in? Do you want to get into like 3D modeling? Do you want to get into finance? Do you want to get into, you know, just blockchain kind of stuff? Like there's lots of avenues that you can get into, even once you kind of pick one of those things. Like I want to be a backend developer. It's like, cool, doing what? Do you want to build APIs? Do you just want to consume APIs? Do you want to work with database stuff? Do you want to build, you know, work with scalability and resilience? Do you want to do disaster recovery? Like what kind of backend do you want to do? Do you want to do, you know, do you want to figure out like automated failovers? Like there's so much stuff that you can get into. Hey Whip, good to see you in chat. We have a little soundbite specifically for Whip. So yeah, the daily giveaway is already over. But if you do exclamation point giveaway, you're still going to get an entry into the monthly giveaway. So go ahead and do bang giveaway, just like Thindal and Whip did in chat. So go do bang giveaway like they did over here, and that'll at least get you in the monthly entry. So every time I stream, you can come by and do bang giveaway, and that'll get you in the giveaway. And then yeah, at the end of the month, well, I guess the first stream in November, we're gonna do like the big giveaway, because by then we'll have all the entries for October at that point. Thindal's gonna take off. Cool. Enjoy Stranger Things. Don't trust Fool Snavel. Fool's had some pretty good advice along the way. So Fool is asking, is it standard now to have server reflection? It's not standard to turn it on, but you can turn it on. And it's really helpful to turn it on, but it is a little more bandwidth where, you know, you don't want to have to broadcast that every time a client connects. But it can be extremely helpful, especially the first couple times that you're getting it set up. And especially if you're going to test it in a tool like Postman, it would be good to have it turned on just so you can kind of like get some of those messages and save some responses and so on, then kind of tinker with it from there. Then you can turn the reflection off. But you know, if you want people to use your gRPC API, like if you're trying to actually build an API with gRPC, it would be good to have it turned on, especially if you're going to do a public-facing API. I know you're a nice guy pretending that you're not. That's great. Good times, good times. Cool. So, yeah, I would say Green Hornet. If you have any other follow-up or anything on that I can sort of narrow down some advice for you, I'd be happy to do that. Thursday, we're going to do resume reviews on the stream. So if you have a resume that you'd like reviewed, or if you just have a resume that you'd like to share, even if you're not specifically looking for a job, why didn't that work? My chatbot is completely broken, apparently. What happened to my chatbot? That's my Stream Deck that broke. Great, so now my Stream Deck doesn't work either. So yeah, if you want a resume review, bang resume. Well, it'll give you the link over here for like where to submit it. The only thing I ask is you anonymize at a minimum. Anonymize your phone number and your email address. Whether or not you want to anonymize your name or other details on there is up to you. But I'll be doing resume reviews on Thursday. We'll probably get through 6, 7, 8 of them, depending on how many we get. I think I've got 3 or 4 queued up. So if you want to send over a resume, I'm happy to do those reviews, and I do them for free. If you want a private review, I'll do a private review. If you're already in the industry, I do charge $50 for that, but all that's going in the Diversity and Tech Fundraiser, and then I match all that money. And then we'll be giving that money away at the end of the year to an organization which is a registered 5013C charitable organization in the United States, so that I can go look at their tax documents and so on. And then also where one of their primary mission goals is to increase diversity in tech. Those are the only 2 criteria that I have for giving that money away. And then, yeah, like I said, this is just money that the community is raising, and then I'm matching all of that money as well. And then starting in January, my employer is going to match money as well that we give away. I'm excited about that. Also, if you'd like to ask an anonymous question, now my Stream Deck works. You can send a whisper over to my chatbot, and it'll show up as an anonymous question. You'll need to keep it shorter than usual, because the chatbot puts a little flag, like the little asterisk on there, and says anonymous question. So you don't have the full 500 bytes of a Twitch message. So if you write a really enormous message, I'll be able to like go log in later and actually see the whisper, but I won't be able, like, it won't show up in chat here if it's too long. Because when the chatbot writes a message in chat, it's also limited to 500 characters. What I could probably do there is figure out like how much of that preamble is there, and like just cut the rest and just put like ... or something on there, or like figure out, you know, subtract another 30 bytes and say message truncated or message was too long or something like that, or just put something in the chat that says like an anonymous question came in, but it was too long to repost or something like that. So that way the person that asked the question knows that they need to like make a shorter question. So yeah, I'll probably work away at some of that code at some point. Lots of to-do list items. The other thing that I want to do is I want to make a question queue for people that ask questions. Like if we get a whole bunch of people come in, like when I streamed the other night, I was doing like Lego and 3D printing last Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. And we had just a whole bunch of raids come in. It was amazing. But like Mayan Wolf raided us with like over 100 people, and chat goes flying by and people are asking questions, and I was missing out on questions. So I want to make like a bang queue where and then like type your question, and it'll put those questions in like a question queue that I can then say like, are there any other questions? Like I can hit a Stream Deck button or something. It'll say this question was asked. Or so-and-so asked this question or something, then I can address that question. So that way, if I miss something, like one of my VAPs or a mod or someone can just do like bang queue and like repost the question or something like that, and it'll get into a queue. Just that way, if somebody asks a question, that we can make sure that we get it addressed. Thanks for the hydrate. Let's see, Green Hornet. I have about a year of experience in Python and JavaScript, specifically in full stack. Okay, cool. Built some personal projects, just figuring out what my best path forward would be to land a job. Okay, cool. So what I would suggest on this, when you're applying for a job, I say this on the channel a lot. When you apply for a job, the resume has to like scream at them, this is the value that I bring to you. If it's just a resume of like, here's a bunch of stuff that I know, they're going to look at it and go, look at all the stuff that you know. What you want them to do is look at the resume and go, look at the impact that you can have at my company. And so the resume has to be stuff that they care about, and it has to show the impact that you had by building that. Now, if you're new in the industry, you may not have a lot of information about this is the impact that I can have on your team. And that's okay. You don't have to be like a super expert at anything to go apply for a job, especially your first job in tech. But the first job in tech is going to be really hard to get. And so a couple of shortcuts there. Networking is going to be your number one way of getting a job, not just sending resumes out everywhere. You can send resumes out, but it's going to literally take you hundreds of resumes, hundreds of applications to get a couple of interviews. And then you got to get through those interviews. You're more likely to get an interview through networking with people. So get to know people. Networking is going to be your number one option there. I talked a little bit earlier on the stream today about going to meetups. They're called meetups, not show-ups. You have to go meet people. As scary as that sounds, you got to go to a meetup, you got to network with people, you got to meet them, introduce yourself. If you can give even a 5-minute talk on, hey, I've spent the last year learning Python and JavaScript. Here are some of the projects that I've made, and this is what I've learned along the way. By the way, I'm looking for a job. Thanks, I'm gonna go sit down now. And that's it, that's all you need to do, 5-minute talk. If you want to do a 10-minute talk, you can get into like, this is my experience using this particular library in Python. You don't have to say, this is how to use this library in Python. You want to explain it as, this is my experience using this library in Python. If you say, this is how I want to use, or this is how you should use this library in Python, everyone's going to tell you why you did it wrong. But if you say, this is my experience using this, then people are going to come up afterwards and they're going to say, hey, did you know you could also do this? Did you know you can do this? Have you tried this? Have you heard about this library? They're going to offer a lot more suggestions and things like that. New Magic 9, thanks for the follow. So that would be my number one thing, is you got to network with people. The second one is, what projects do you put on the resume that are going to really stand out to that company? So when you're building a resume, my general advice, and I'll go over this a lot on Thursday, is you build a giant resume. You put every project you've ever built, every technology you've ever used, every job you've ever had, lots of bullet points about all the jobs, lots of bullet points about all the projects, and literally every technology, every library you've ever used ever. Put all that on a resume. It's going to be huge. It'll be way more than a page, and that's okay. Or ideally, it would be more than a page. When you go to apply for a job, you make a copy of that resume, and you trim out everything that that company's not going to care about reading. So, if they're a Python company, you may not put JavaScript on there. You want to look like a Python developer. If it's like a back-end Python development job, you probably won't put JavaScript on there. I would just leave just the Python stuff. You want to look like a really strong Python developer. When you're listing out your skills, Python is the first thing that you list. When you put your frameworks on there, do they care about Django? Do they care about Flask? Do they care about Fast API, like Tornado, like which Falcon, like which API libraries do they care about, if any? Or what do they do in Python? Are they using machine learning and AI? Like which of those tools have you done? Like SciPy or NumPy and like all those pandas and Jupyter notebooks and like all those things, like list those things out on your resume. You want to look like a really strong Python developer to get that job. That way, when they look at that, they're like, wow, look at all the stuff that you've done. Like you've clearly got the technical skill. But then if you can talk about how you've applied that and the impact that you can have, that's also going to be really important. So as you're talking about the projects that you make, even if you say like, went back in and improved some code and reduced processing time by 25%. It's like, oh, cool. You can come have that impact at my company. I can have you look at some code and you can help find some optimizations and like improve my code. That's great. I want to look at that resume and go, I want you to come do that here. And not just, oh, this technology and we use that technology. I mean, that's fine. That's going to get you in the door. But if they can look at that resume and go, look at the impact that this person can have, that's where you're going to get the phone calls to those interviews. Just by sending the resume. But if you're networking with people and you have them submit the resume, now they're going to HR going, hey, I know this Ian guy. He's a Python dev. Here's his resume. Can I submit him as a referral for this job? And yeah, HR is far more likely to call you because they had somebody inside the company say your name. So that's gonna definitely help your chances with getting the interview. And then getting through the interview is up to you, clearly. But those are the best ways to get in and get the interviews, is with networking. And by showing the value that you bring, and not just that you have the skills, but what's the value that you bring to that company. Aaron Ha, thanks for the follow. Thanks for dropping by. So those would be my main tips to, like, how do you get in, how do you get noticed, how do you get started. I share that advice quite a lot on the stream around like what kinds of projects to build, what kinds of projects stand out. Different projects are going to stand out to different companies. There are going to be a lot of different things out there that some companies are going to care about, that other companies are not going to care about. And that's okay. You don't have to go build 500 projects. You generally want to build like one project that shows as many of the fundamentals in one project as you can. So things like authorization, authentication, session management, CRUD functionality, processing form data, maybe file uploads. If you can send that up to like an S3 bucket and get that URL down and like display that again later, like anything along those lines. So I generally talk about like, go build a project where it's kind of the framework for, like, it could be any sort of social tool where you can register, you can log in, you can make a little profile page, maybe a little bio about yourself and upload a photo, and then you can go visit other people's profiles or something like that. You don't have to get into like sending them messages or anything, but like just that alone. Do OAuth with Google or something like that, like some sort of OAuth provider. Don't do your own username password thing. Implement some kind of OAuth. Authorization is, what am I allowed to do now that I'm logged in? Well, if I'm on my profile page, I can edit my profile. If I'm on your profile page, I only get to see what you've saved. And then session management, like do something where I can like put something in a shopping cart, log out, log back in, and it's still there. Just show me how you might do something like that. And then from there, you can build in whatever you want. It's like, I want to build a to-do list app. Okay, well now when users log in, they've got an option to build a to-do list. Like, well, I want to do a recipe sharing thing. Okay, well, when I log in, I can see the to-do list, but I can also add recipes. And when I go to your profile, I can see your to-do list items and I can see your recipes. Or maybe your to-do list has a public and a private to-do thing. And so if I put something as a public to-do or a private to-do, only I get to see my own private ones, but everybody gets to see the public ones. So when I go to your profile page, I see your public to-do list, but I don't see your private ones. So again, you're playing on the authentication and authorization portions of that. Session management could be like, have I already started a task? Store that in a session. So you started it, but it's not completed. Maybe your database only stores whether it's finished or not whether it's in progress. Maybe the in progress part is stored as the session cookie. So again, like, you're showing these different fundamentals of like, I understand how to do these different kinds of things. Build that into one project. And then when you apply for a job, if a company's like, hey, we want you to build this take-home assignment, you'd be like, could you just look at this code and tell me if there's anything in here that you're looking for? Are there any particular fundamentals you want me to show you? Because I've been working on this project for the last couple of weeks. It's all fresh in my brain. This is what I know how to do. They might look at that and go, yeah, this is all we need. You don't have to do anything more than this. I've done that myself. When I interviewed, so I went through my own job hunt a year ago. I did a bunch of interviews in December, January. And as part of that, they're like, hey, do this take-home thing, like write us some code. And so I wrote some code and I deployed it in a Docker container to Google Cloud. And then the next couple of interviews, they're like, hey, can you show us how you build an API and like maybe deploy it? And I'm like, well, I just did this for this other company. You want to take a look at this code? And they're like, cool. Yeah, that's all we need. You don't have to reinvent a take-home assignment every single time. Just offer the code that you already have and just say, I've got this. Is this kind of what you're looking for? Do you want me to, like, can I add like a little feature inside of this for you? Because I've already been working on this. I'm happy to add something new. Like if you want me to build that to-do list thing, I can just go and do that. But that way I'm not rebuilding that entire project all over again. I'll just add it as like a little mini app or something inside of my application. That's going to show that you can take existing code and you can add features to it, which is exactly what you're going to be doing on the job. So that kind of thing is going to start to set you up for success for those jobs. Show the project you already made. Yeah. If it relates, exactly. That's the thing, Robo. So if it's relatable to them. Now, if there's something that, you know, they really want to see how you would analyze some data and that's not part of that, then okay, well, that's something extra that you would have to build into it. But at least you've already got the structure of that thing already built where, you know, maybe when I log in, I can upload a CSV file and then like put that in the database and then draw some queries off of that and draw a little graph or something. Okay, let me just go build that into the existing project. Like I don't have to go start a whole new project just for you to go do that. I've already got this thing. I just need to go add that extra piece to it. And you're already a third of the way into the project because you've already got that. You already know form processing. You already know file uploads. So now you just have to figure out, how do I read a CSV file, put that in the database, and then how do I go to a page and read that data back out and draw a chart? You're already most of the way there. So build up that project of those fundamentals. And then if you get asked for a take home, just be like, hey, can I just add it to this existing project? Like I want to make this an encapsulation of like everything I know how to do. And they'll look at that and go, cool. I would make a bet with folks that if you start doing that as a project, and then when you get asked for a take home and you say, I've got this, I would love to hear from folks that say like, yeah, I built that starter project. And when I presented that, instead of doing a take home, they said, yeah, cool. That's all we need. Or whether they said, nah, we really want you to write this custom piece of code. I mean, if they really want you to write that custom piece of code, that's fine. Like go do that because they're asking you to. If you really want that job, you'll do it. Data Tab, thanks for the follow, by the way, a couple minutes ago. Sorry, I missed that. I would love to hear from folks around like your experience, because that was my experience. Was I built a project for a company, and I was able to use that again for 3 other companies, where they're like, "Can you write us some code?" And I'm like, "I just did this." They're like, "Cool." Same thing with presentations, because I do developer advocacy and developer relations and public speaking. They're like, "Can you put a presentation together about such and such?" I'm like, "I could, or I could just give you this presentation I just gave yesterday for this other company." And they're like, "Okay." Actually gave the same talk to 2 different companies. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like they just want to know, like, have you got something like ready that you can present and talk about a topic? And I did in that case. So they're like, all right, cool. So yeah, those are my initial takes. I've been streaming for about 3 hours. I need to take a break for the voice, and I got to take care of groceries and laundry and stuff for the day, and take care of family time and stuff like that for the day. So yeah, I'm going to go find someone that I can raid out to. If anybody's got suggestions on who we can go raid, feel free to drop those in chat. Otherwise, I'm going to go see... Oh, Mine Wolf's online. We're going to go raid back into Mine Wolf. Mine Wolf was awesome to give us a raid. We're going to go raid over there. Looks like they're on a Pomodoro break or something like that. Yeah, I think we're gonna go right over to Mine Wolf. Unless anybody else has other suggestions, we'll go right over there. But thanks for dropping by, everybody. Thanks for the enters into the giveaway. We're gonna go right over to Mine Wolf. Mine Wolf again is part of the 100 Devs community. Really fantastic teacher for like teaching things. It's a good example of somebody who has learned a thing and is turning around and helping teach it to other people. And it's not that they have 100% of the answers, but they're also going to show you their process for like how would they figure that thing out, or how would they go get the answer. So we'll see you over in Mine Wolf's channel. Make lots of noise in chat. Looks like they are on some kind of like Pomodoro break or something like that, but make a lot of noise. We'll see you over there, and I'll try to stream again a couple times this week, but probably before Thursday. So I'm going to try and stream Tuesday, and then I'll stream Thursday for sure. Thursday, resume reviews, so get those resumes in. And we'll catch y'all next time. Cheers.